I can't believe it's Friday and we made it. Get the weekend started, let's go live on YouTube.
Yeah, it's a Friday night flick and you know it's going down. Get your friends and your knives and let's have a good time. Got that play, click, clacking and I'm ready to go. Gotta check the homie Groove on to see what knives he's got.
I can't believe it's Friday and we made it. Get the weekend started, let's go live on YouTube. It's Friday, I can't believe we made it. It's Friday. I can't believe it's Friday and we made it. Get the weekend started, let's go live on YouTube. Ooh. It's a Friday night flick and you know it's going down. Get your friends and your knives and let's have a good time. Got that blade click clacking and I'm ready to go. Gotta check the homie Groove on to see what knives he's got. Ooh. Gotta check the homie Groove on to see what knives he's got. Oh, I can't believe it's Friday and we made it. Get the weekend started, let's go live on YouTube. It's Friday, I can't believe we made it. It's Friday. Friday night, this is ready, here we go. Watch me scramble to complete a 3-hour show. We'll talk about life, so what's on your mind? Never know what will come up this time. We vibe and we chill, including spirited debate, but we do it with love and never with hate. We'll talk about knives and what's on your mind. Never know what will come up this time. We vibe and we chill, including spirited debate, but we do it with love and never with hate. Lights go dark, the stream comes on. Javon's here, the vibe is strong. Click and clack, the steel in sight. Every edge sharpened, Friday night.
Night flicks dance under the light. Blades that shine and cut so tight. Handles spin and edges glide. Friday night flicks worldwide.
The craft with steady flow, steel and story you'll wanna know. Flick of the wrist, how smooth it goes. Every frame a master show.
Night flicks dance under the light. Blades that shine and cut so tight. Handles spin and edges glide. Friday night flicks worldwide.
Went out because we only had a little bit, but are you high on cigarettes? And when that stuff runs out, you're gonna wanna make it. Are you high on cigarettes?
Let's watch Javon's weirdness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Javon's weirdness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Javon's weirdness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Javon's weirdness and get high on cigarettes.
Do you know that you're right or wrong? 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 He don't smoke 'em, but he loves it. That's why he's high on cigarettes. He's getting higher on cigarettes.
Let's watch Javon's weirdness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Javon's weirdness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Javon's weirdness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Javon's weirdness and get high on cigarettes. Do you know that you're right or wrong? Do you know that you're right or wrong? Do you know that you're right or wrong? Do you know that you're right or wrong?
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
What is up, kids? Can y'all hear me? Am I too loud? Seems loud in my ears. Is it loud where y'all are? What is up? Sorry about the little misfire on the countdown. I forgot it had sound. That was brutal. It was really loud. Made me almost jump out of my seat. I do apologize, but I am glad to see all you guys. Tell me if it's too loud. You can see me. You can hear me. If everything's good, we will rock on. Chris229, channel member. Guys, we're going to be doing it this week again, Sunday at 4 o'clock. I'll put a thing out, a little memo. I'm working tomorrow, so that's just part of it. Chris229 is the man. He sent me a knife out to review, check out, and I'm going to show it to you guys in a bit. It is totally killer. I've totally enjoyed carrying it. That double sheath is a mad win. Richard, channel member, what is up, brother? Good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Richard hooked me up with some killer stuff. This is just too much. Great stuff. You guys are awesome. Appreciate you all, every single one of you. Marco, what is up? Everybody's names look just a little bit different, so I guess we're in that weird YouTube trying to decide how to display names. Hey, man, what is up, brother? Good to see you. Henry, good to see you, my man. I'm going up, then I'll come back down, and then if that makes any sense, it probably doesn't. I just want to make sure I say hey to everybody, and then I'll get into some things that we can talk about and look at. Got knife stories. That'll be a new thing for the show. I'll be able to tell you stories from retail knife world, right? It's kind of been nuts. As you might imagine, around the holidays, people coming in looking for a blade for somebody, not having no idea what they're looking for and the way that they describe it and what they walk out with. It's just kind of been an interesting dynamic. I've really been blessed to do it. I enjoy it. The guys down at Knives and More, I'm learning a ton about traditionals. I won't bring that on you guys heavy, but I will. You'll see some more traditionals as I bring more of my collection. I've been trading for them. I've traded for actually two. One of them I traded for today, and that is a Viper knives out of Italy. I'll show it to you in a sec, but I thought it was really cool. I've got a couple of Vipers. Dr. Drew Dude, good to see you, man. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, all of it. Love it all. Glad that y'all are all here. I don't think any of the Tuesday night or Friday night, I think it's the day after Christmas. So I know a lot of people are going to be out and about and traveling. I will be live as normal. I'm not traveling this holiday season. I will be visiting family locally, which is good for me. What is up, Wes? Space Ghost? Good to see you, man. Channel member, Bubba. What is up, brother? I hope you're able to stick around for a little bit. We'll be doing it. We'll talk about, I don't know if y'all were in Said Stevie's live last night for Be Up Day. Yesterday was officially Be Up Day. Neil McKenzie, channel member, what is up? I was in it. I was actually in it for the whole live. I guess I fell asleep, dozed off on the couch during part of it because I was chatting and then I was asleep. So that's how my weird sleep cycle. I don't know if it's age. I think it's more when I lost my corporate job and kind of went off of a fixed schedule and started kind of shifting my days and nights. it's just made me my sleep is very intermittent. I get the hours, I just get them sporadically. What's up, Sierra Rick? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Scrolling down. Paul Mills, channel members in the house. I'm gonna do a little plug here for Zero Vaporless Vapes. You guys know I'm a vapor, and a company reached out to me to try their vapes. And I tried a cherry ice and this mint. You can either change them to be vaporless by pushing this button. And then allegedly, if I hold it in, it doesn't expel any vapor, but I got all the benefits of the nicotine, whatever you want to call it. I like these little vapes. I don't know if they're available at my gas stations around here, but they're called Zero Cloud. I like the Miami Mint, but actually the cherry ice was better. It says Sakari on the back. Again, don't know much about them. I just know they're good vapes. They've lasted me a while. I usually don't buy. I'm a refillable vape guy. I buy my juice and do it that way. But, you know, well, teach its own. And I know that when I've been out of town and I've forgotten my vape or something's happened, especially at Blade Show, I found myself buying disposables. And I'll tell you what I've been using at work, because one of the guys that I work with, Levi, they're not Zens, but there's something similar to Zens. It's a little pouch of, the first one he gave me was coffee, and it was a little pouch that I just put in my cheek, forgot it was there, and had a light coffee flavor. And then the other one he had was like watermelon. We work together on Thursdays and Saturdays. El Cap Addict, channel member, and my strop maker. I love that strop, dude. I cleaned it up with an eraser last week and put some fresh stropping spray on it, some of my diamond emulsion. I think I've got 0.3. It's just an awesome strop, dude. If anybody's looking for a strop, reach out to El Cap Addict. You'll get a good deal and you'll get a dang good strop. Let's see who I've missed. Have I missed anybody? I hope I haven't. I'm going down. What is up, EDC KO10? Good to see you, channel member. And again, guys, Sunday at 4 o'clock. I hope that's not a totally inconvenient time. All you got to do is pop in. You don't have to be there for long at all. It's just a secret word game. It's an hour or so that I spend hang out just as a thank you to you guys. That's the only reason it's there. It's not, we don't cover stuff. Used to be it was on Saturday, right after Friday Night Flicks. And if you guys have ever sat through a Friday Night Flicks, you know, I'll kind of exhaust myself talking about sometimes knives, sometimes a lot of nothing. I do want to look at some knives tonight. 1931 Leatherworks. Terry has been in my back pocket all day. This is a 1931 Leatherworks sheath that he customized and made fancy for me, and I'm wearing it every day in my back pocket, and it's holding up great. It's a fantastic sheath. Thank you, Terry, and good to see you, brother. Happy Friday and happy holidays, everybody. Hopefully some of you guys are off. I know that when I was at Spectrum, I would hold up, you know, pretty much my vacation days. I would be non-existent during the year, but then at the end of the year, I'd always take like almost a month, 3 weeks off, because all of our business would have stopped. All of our quarterlies would have been done. And hopefully some of you guys are in that flux where you're able to just chill and not do a lot of stressing. My job is not at all stressful. I don't even know if I'd call it a job, because I really make such a small, the amount of hours. I think I do 4 hours a day, but I am picking up a lot more days. And I'll tell you, it's funny. I mean, sometimes I've got this one guy, an African-American dude, because I'm in a kind of a slummy part of town. I don't know if I told you guys this, but he came in last week and all he wanted me to do was give him a fist bump. So I fist bumped him and he accused me of not liking black people. And I said, no, man, I've grown up with, you know, black people my whole life. I've got some good friends that are black people, but it's nice to meet you. And so he's been coming in almost every day, and he's kind of crazy, I think, and he might be on drugs. But and today he looked at me. He's like, you always just look at me so hatefully. I say, dude, I'm not looking at you hatefully at all. All I'm doing is just looking at you like I do anybody else that walks in the store. The whole time, I've got a freedom pill dispenser in my waist, but I'm just hoping this guy doesn't have it out for me, because he'll lose. It'll be a bad situation. YouTube's terms of service. Jim Miller has been a member for 31 months. Merry Christmas, brother. Happy holidays, and thank you for your support. Unfortunately, our members' lives have been moved, at least through the holidays, to Sundays at 4. I'll put a notification up. I'm working on Saturdays, and it has been nuts. I'm selling a lot of kitchen knives. We carry their Japanese kitchen knives. They're between, say, 60 and $150, and the parent company is Kai, which is the same company that's over Kershaw and ZT. I forget what they're called. And then we carry, what are they called? Wustas. And we carry Case, and then we carry a industrial line. I forget what it's called. But anyway, I'm learning more than I'd ever want to learn about kitchen knives. I can't get passionate about them because I don't use kitchen knives in my own life. I'm a bachelor, and unfortunately, I just don't cook. Joe Isabella, channel member and fantastic artist in his own right. What is up, brother? So anyway, a lot of people are coming in wanting to, get kitchen knives or get kitchen knives for gifts. And I'm just not that guy, I'm trying. It's almost like cramming just to learn the current Case catalog, which is just this year's Case offerings. When I get up in a second and walk over here, I'll bring it to you and show you how thick it is. It's a really nice catalog. And they've got some cool knives in it. But what's funny is that's probably 1/50th of the cases, because we've got a lot of antique cases in the store. We've got a lot of one-offs. That's what people are coming in to buy. It's been dizzying watching the amount of knives just in the last 2 weeks that store has taken in. We took in a Benchmade collection that probably had 40 Benchmades in it. A lot of automatics, a lot I'd never seen before. A lot of old Benchmades. Usually the old collections we take in are cases. We took in a whole collection of Swiss Army knives. It's just nuts that people from all over come to John at Knives and More to sell their estate collections, because they know he's going to be fair and give them a fair price. And he's also very knowledgeable about what's what. He was picking out fakes. One of the collections had several Chris Reeves. I think only one of them was real. They were small Sabenzas. So you got to watch out for that stuff, but it's fascinating. That's when it's kind of interesting, when you see stuff like that going on. But I do a lot of videos for them, and really for me. So I'm putting shorts. If you guys have noticed, some of my shorts are my knives. Some of my shorts are knives that are from Knives and More. A lot of people don't watch shorts, but that's kind of where, before I ever started my YouTube channel, where I would do a video over 30 seconds, when I was doing Knives Live and stuff like that, and I just had my channel to communicate with people, and to be live during Knives Live, I would just post shorts and never talk. I don't think I had my first spoken video, until like maybe a year and a half into my channel, or a year into my channel. So I always kind of continued to do shorts. And that's where I get my growth. If I look at my analytics, my growth comes because people watch my shorts. They don't watch my long videos. They'll watch some of my fixed blades. Fixed blades get a lot more views. Dude, please send a picture. We're going to go to Instagram here in a little while. It seems that people like to look at some of the stuff on Instagram. I like to. I also like to go to different knife stores and see what's coming in. I think I've told you guys, I don't, during the week like I used to, I was one of these compulsive website crawlers. I would always be looking for new drops. And it's amazing now that I'll look at websites and there's stuff that I haven't seen, that I didn't even know was a knife. And there's some cool fixed blades I'm seeing coming in. what I'm trying to do, and I've done it pretty successfully, is trade for stuff. Trading for stuff is probably going to be the way I have to go. And what sucks is I'm kind of thought the first knife I traded for, I traded a fixed blade because we needed some fixed blades down there for this little knife. The first case knife that I purchased, and I thought I was totally out of the slip joint game, wanted nothing to do with them. I'm still a single blade slip joint guy, but this is kind of a little unique one that we had at the store. There's only one of them. I think I don't even know what it is. Maybe a swayback, little Warncliffe, but I like a Warncliffe blade. And that's kind of a small knife, little hollow grind. I dug it. So I traded for it. Well, then Tate, one of the owners down there, one of the younger guys, the guy that I hung out with at Blade Show, brought this knife in. Well, I've got several Viper knives. This is a modern traditional. This is 390. That's M390. And I think it's got wooden handles and titanium. But again, that same look, really nice shape. I just like that shape. Well, then Levi, the guy who, I'll show you one of his knives. I took a picture holding one of his knives. He's a huge knife guy. He's young, still lives at home, but he has about 4. I don't know the exact patterns, but they're all the same pattern. He sold one the day before yesterday, or traded it for he traded it and an old Benchmade frame lock I've never seen for a Strider AR, the one that Medford makes. He's got like 4 Warncliffe Great Eastern cutleries. Now, they're not homeboy prices on them, and I'll find out if anybody's interested, because he told me, he said, I'll bring them in and let you look at them if you might want to trade for one. And I don't know what I would trade him, because I really don't want another Great Eastern cutlery, but it's a Warncliffe and it looks really cool. I mean, I'd almost trade him a Great Eastern cutlery for a Great Eastern cutlery, but I don't think that's his game. But I'm liking the traditionals a little bit more. We have Protex, which I dig. I've always dug Protex. Microtex, I didn't have as much experience with, but I'm appreciating the knives more. I have a problem with the guy, which I've got to get past that. And I don't know why. I think it's just the lore, the lawsuits. Kathleen, are you in here, young lady? Good to see you. Mikey, good to see you. How did I miss everybody? Kathleen, welcome, young lady. But I think it's just the stories. You know, maybe he had no choice but to sue his son. I don't know. It just, to me, that sounds crazy. But the knives are very nice. Are they overpriced? Maybe. Another thing, this is kind of a spy report. If you like the Hawk designs, that zero blade play that Microtech came out with, it was only in a couple of knives. I know their Generation 3 Ultratechs have the zero blade play. And there is no blade play. So that's the stop pin and a couple of other mechanisms that Gavin sued Microtech so that they would, because he felt like Gavin Hawk from Hawk Knives felt like his intellectual property had been infringed upon. Well, when we got the release for the Generation 4 Microtech Ultratechs, they no longer are using zero blade play. They don't say why. They say it's to keep the prices down a little bit. My point is, Microtech is no longer making zero blade play knives. At Knives and More, and on certain websites, if you're looking for one, there's still some Generation 3s in the market. And I think, just being a dummy, that they'll only become more popular if you just kept one, because people are going to not be able to get it for a while, I don't think. And I think it could be a knife that would have some pretty good resale value. I know we've got a couple of zero blade play black and this color hellhounds. I think I've told you guys I traded this before I ever worked down there for I traded a Medford for this. I traded my MIDI Marauder. Kept my slim MIDI, but I never carried my S35 MIDI Marauder. And Medfords don't hold their value great. And this was not a cheap knife. I want to say it was right around $400 for the zero blade play. But when you look at a Hawk at over $1,000, very nice knife, N390. Again, no blade play. It's one that I can easily actuate and close. And these are still around. I know we've got probably a couple of drop points, a couple of hellhounds, maybe a dagger. And nobody's marking them up. But if you're in the market for a zero blade play, check the websites for Gen 3s because they are out there, and they're not going to be out there in Gen 4 because we've gotten in some Gen 4s. They're not wiggly wobbly. I've never thought of like, this is my axial. It's got a little wobble, but it's nothing that I'm not used to, right? I've always been used to an out the front because of the way the action goes in and out that you're going to have a little bit of wiggle. So it's nothing that ever was a problem for me. However, once I experienced the zero blade play and got over the dirty feeling, because about 3 days after I bought it was when Gavin came out with his video talking about being upset that his intellectual property had been, he felt, wrongfully used. I didn't feel that comfortable carrying it for about a month. Then I got over that because I felt like they'd figure it out, and they did. But the zero blade plays nice. So if you want it, it's available still. You can call me tomorrow afternoon at Knives and More. I'll tell you the ones that we've got, can send you pictures, and they'll do stuff like that too. So if you're ever interested in a knife, Kathleen, I have no definitive answer how it turned out, but I have a feeling that they decided to either Gavin Hawk won or Microtech decided that they were not going to be able to fight it and successfully persevere, because in their Generation 4, which just came to us as a dealer, zero blade play, as they called it, ZBP, has been discontinued. So they only had it for that 1 year. And they're not offering it anymore. So I can only imagine if it was so revolutionary in their Generation 3 marketing. And if you go to Microtech's website, if you go to Google and you put in what's the difference in a Generation 3 and a Generation 4 Microtech Ultratech, that's the maker and the model of the knife, it'll take you to a Microtech website page on their internal page. We've gone through it once on the show, and it basically tells you that they're no longer going to offer it, which tells me, without telling me, that they didn't persevere in their, kick rocks. That's the way, hey, Deconga, that's the way that Gavin said he was sad that he'd sent him a cease and desist before the whole court thing, and they told him to kick rocks, which, big company, little company. I shouldn't talk about it because I don't know the details. It just seems kind of bully to me. Palmer Conley, young man, your birthday Sunday. Does that mean, is that your ninth? I'm not going to dox you, but I know you're much younger than me. It's good to see you, Palmer, and happy early birthday, brother. I hope you have a great one. Happy birthday, like Paul Mills said, in a couple of days, dude. Have a very, very happy birthday. What I thought we'd do for a little bit, if you guys don't mind, if you're not opposed to it, let me show you a couple of things on the tape. This is a little knife. I've got a couple of them. I'll show you another one that Brother Richard Hopkins sent me for Christmas. I've got the maker's name, Lex Rex Customs. Lex Rex Customs Knives makes these little knives, and they're almost like little street scalpels, with a hammered handle. This part of it, you can consider it a full tang knife, a full tang scalpel, but this one's just 4-finger full size. And I mean, it's sharp and slicey, and it has a little Voltron, which is that kind of that high scale, thick Kydex sheath that you can wear either as a neck knife or with an ulti clip. Great little knife. And then Chris229 sent me this super cool Aux Manufacturing, AUX MFG. And you'll love the name of this. This is the Carl, Karl Jr. Deadhead. So all of their knives have Deadhead in the title. So I have an instant affinity for these guys because they're deadheads. But this knife is one of their imported models, and they partnered with Miguron to OEM this little pokey stabby fleece kind of grade knife that is 14C 28N. It's got a nice serpentine gemp spine, really splinter digger, pokey tip, super slicey blade. It's just a great knife. It came with a Kydex sheath, and I originally carried it in my pocket because I was carrying a Bradford Guardian and a Chickadee in this. And before that got too settled, I wanted to change this up. So now I'm carrying, it's in the forming mode. I'm carrying my little Bulldog from Lucky Dog Knives, and I'm carrying my little Carl Jr. And I carry this in my little jacket. It's kind of a flannel shirt jacket side pocket. So it just sits in my side pocket like that. And this is that sheath that came from Knife Ship Free. I'm tempted to order the larger variation of this sheath just because I've enjoyed it. And the larger variation is only like 1/2 or 3/4 inches bigger in each way, but it would let me carry some other stuff. Definitely pretty cool. Getting ready before I jump over to River's Edge Cutlery to do a review on this knife. This is a Tenable, which is Concepts Civivi, or their base company. This knife is the Entity, I believe is what it's called. It is a button lock with a flipper tab, and I can't remember if it's Nitro V. It's 14C. It's treated 14C, very economical, aluminum body, tall, flat ground blade. And I'm going to be reviewing this sometime over the weekend because I've been carrying it, been cutting with it, just cleaned it up because I was going to take a thumbnail. I don't know what kind of thumbnail because all my thumbnails kind of suck. But if you like a bigger knife, a bigger budget knife, this one feels really good because of the aluminum and the sculpting on the handles. And Tenable, I don't remember this being a concept design, but that's one of the things that I like about Tenable is they take proven designs and they just offer them in a little more budget materials. But this knife is very good. I've enjoyed it. Kind of took me by surprise because I'd not heard of the Entity and I'm not familiar with the concept version of the Entity, but it's tall, flat ground, slicey, about the size of a Paramilitary 2 knife at aluminum. And I think they're around 50, 60 bucks. And then I showed y'all last week, these are Meritex County Com, which I've always bought a lot of my EDC gadgets from, titanium gadgets, pry bars, stuff like that, flashlights. They've started carrying some Voss Steed knives and a couple of others. And then Meritech, who makes all of their other gear, made a couple of knives, a few. One of them is this little guy here, which is in 14C. It's kind of got a big belly, really neat G10. Orange is their thing, high visibility. So it's got an orange G10 backspacer and a liner lock. And then they also do a lot with Ultim. County Com does. They have all kinds of like an Ultim whistle, Ultim magnifying glass. They use a lot of Ultim. So they made an Ultim knife, a budget knife that's D2 and an Ultim handle. It's a button lock with a reversible clip. Again, around 50 bucks, full size, nice knife. I haven't done a review on it yet. I did an unboxing. Neither one of these knives have I really tested in terms of cutting. I've tested them in terms of deployment, and they both feel really good. They both have studs and a flipper tab. One's a liner lock and the other's a button lock. The liner lock has really snappy detent. The button lock has button lock type of detent. But unique looking knives. I don't think they look like a variation of anybody else's knife. And they brought them to market. I don't know how long they've been working on them, but they're pretty cool. And then this video, I've really needed to do this review 3 weeks ago, but I just haven't gotten around to it. It's a great knife. It's just not a knife that's inspired me per se. This is an Olight. I think it's OEM by Kaiser. This is the icon. That Ion, AION. It is, if you like the CRKT, what was it called? The CEO, that little thin gentleman's folder. I think this is a better version of that because it's got a wider blade, still a very thin, narrow knife, flipper tab, low profile, nice 14C blade. But it's just a knife. You know, that's really what they all boil down to. They all boil down to the fact that they're just knives. But what I've learned, and it's not just me, like today I carried something different. I carried my tipper. This is an Edgy Blade Works design that Concept made. And it's unique, right? It doesn't look like a regular knife. When I first saw this, when Said Stevie had one, I thought it was super ugly. I still think it looks kind of like a pelican with a full mouth. I think it's kind of ugly, but that's kind of why I like it, because it's unique. It's got a little soul, in my opinion. It's unique, right? So everybody's going to be inspired by different stuff. And I've learned that more working part-time at a local knife store than I would have ever learned on the internet. God, it's amazing, guys. When I talk to people about a Benchmade and why we have 6 different bug outs and why they're different prices. And I talk about the different steels, you know, LMAX, S90V versus S30V. The general knife buying public doesn't know. These are engineers who should be powder metallurgy steel snobs. Some of them watch YouTube stuff. They're not steel focused at all. They're looking for a design. They're looking for something that's easy to open. And I've had a couple of guys that come through that are enthusiasts that are looking for steels, but that's like less than 1%. No, maybe 1%, maybe 2%. Ultim, Kathleen, I totally agree with you. To me, I find it an unattractive material in most cases. However, when I used to make my own vape coils and use a regular one of those bigger vapes that people used to use to vape juices and stuff, all of the tips that I used to use were made out of Ultim. Ultim it didn't come from the vape world, but I know it was in the vape world as the drip tips, the tips of the vapes, because they didn't conduct heat. Hey, Knife Nut 69, what is up, brother? Channel member. It's going to be Sunday at 4, our little meet and greet, our little secret word game that we play on Sundays, channel member. Knife Nut, I will send that out probably tomorrow sometime, but until after Christmas, which hopefully this will be the last week. I don't know if they're going to want me to work Saturdays. I kind of liked not working Saturdays. And I'm even going to work for them Christmas Eve from like 10 to 3. So one of the guys can be off. Because to me, it's not like working. I hang around knives. and talk to people about knives. And people buy knives, and people buy, expensive knives. Um, they just don't seem to, or maybe I think too much about it. A few of them have what I consider the sickness, which is me being a knife collector sickness. I have a couple of guys that come in there every week. One guy who I've become friends with who drives into Huntsville every Monday. And then every Thursday night after work, he drives back to Knoxville, which is about a 4-hour drive. He's about 4 hours from his house, but he has a government engineering job, really good job. So he works here from Monday through Thursday. And Thursday nights, he stops by on his way back and he buys some cool stuff. And then there's another guy, a young guy who comes in. I'm probably going to end up trading something for his Uningzon because he's not crazy about it. I know where it came from. It came from the guy that owns, as part of the owner of that store. And I wanted a Chris Reeves. That's one knife that's not in my collection. And he's kind of fixed blade focused. So he's looking at fixed blades. What I'm going to do is I'm going to jump over here real quick to River's Edge Cutlery. And I'm going to see with you guys what is coming newly arrived. And this is really all I look at when I go to knife stores. So these Ultratech Gen 4s look just like my Gen 3, except it's not zero blade play. Now it's only $299, where if you wanted zero blade play, that was about $100 option. But you could still get a non-zero blade play Ultratech Gen 3. But the Gen 4s do not have that feature. So if you like zero blade play, I bet you there's some 3s still available. I bet if we go up here and we go Microtech zero blade play, enter. All right, so they've got a Gen 3 double-edged zero blade play still in stock. That's DLC. That's going to be a more bougie one. And they've got drop point, $435. Mine was about $20 less than that because I've just got the regular blade. So you're looking for those Gen 3s and you're looking for ZBP if you're interested in a zero blade play. So they're going to be around. I'm sure Blade HQ has a few. Looks like there are 3 here at River's Edge Cutlery. And there are a bunch, not a bunch, but they're probably 4 or 5 at Knives and More. But I'm going to go back to coming new. And we're going to see what has arrived besides the new Microtechs. We also have a lot of people come in and get their knives sharpened. I had a guy come in today and get one of these. He had 2 Benchmades and he had a Spyderco lightweight Mannix, I think, and he had them all sharpened. So I'm learning that a lot of people, rely on this knife store for sharpening stuff. Some County Com little lightweight wallets. This is some County Com gear like I was showing you guys. That's their little sapphire titanium, like I guess you call it magnifying glass. I use this when I'm trying to get numbers off of blades or identify stuff because I don't have good eyes. It's just a little go anywhere. If you want to roast ants under the sunlight, it'll do that too. But they just got weird stuff. I mean, I'm a big fan of River's Edge Cutlery. No affiliation there. I do have affiliate links there, but I've got them a lot of places. But River's Edge Cutlery is where I shopped a lot. I sometimes go up to my login and sign in, and you can see how crazy my orders were. I've got 4 pages just at River's Edge Cutlery. So yeah, I had it bad. I still do. I mean, I just love knives. I love buying knives and weird gear. I bought a lot of weird gear too. I had a work sharp sharpener. And then I had a little weird lighter. Where is it? An Exotac. I've still got that lighter. This is that lighter I've shown you guys. I don't know why it won't let me zoom on it. If you're looking for a Zippo type lighter that'll never lose fuel, this is it. This Exotac lighter. It has got a screw top. It's titanium. It's just like this match holder, but it just uses regular Zippo fuel. I can't say enough for it. I don't think I would ever need to use a ferro rod because I can't imagine it not working. However, I don't see it. There it is. So think of that as just a Zippo on steroids. You've got your O-rings. You've got some good machine threading. This thing is tight. You soak the cotton underneath it like you would any Zippo. The difference is this one is not going to leak on you. There's nowhere for that lighter fluid to vapor and seep out because of those O-rings. I think it's pretty cool. If you're looking for a lighter, I've got regular Zippos too, but when I'm camping, I kind of like having that camp specific lighter. Everybody's got a bug out bag, even though I'm not bugging out or going anywhere. So I'm going to go to DLT, one of my other favorite stores. And looks like there's some hellbenders dropping. Snot otters. I'm not that familiar with them at all, really. But that looks like a pretty big knife. I could be wrong. 8 3/4. 8 3/4 inches long. USA made. Looks pretty nice. It is 3V. I'll show you guys the Microtex. That's pretty wicked looking. Not a blade that I would use or have really a use for, but it definitely looks interesting. Williams blade design. I guess that's a USA maker. I would hope for that price. Let's see. Lithuania. This is a Lithuanian RWL 34 10-inch little poker. Yeah, I don't know anything about that except it looks different. Very cool. I'm not into the heretics. I know a lot of people are, and no hate there. The iridiums, if I'm not mistaken, did they start making these in the US? This is a great knife. This is D2. I did a review on a drop point one of these. No, that's China. But this is the knife in a drop point that made me realize that Kershaw should be on my radar, and it made me buy my Bel Air after Ryan, the Hitman Ellis, sent me his to check out. Here's some Hawk knives. This is the guy that makes the Deadlock. He also makes manual folders. And this is one of his custom folders. Just meticulously crafted, I guess you'd say. Comes with a proprietary tool and some blade butter. Let's see what M390 acid washed USA Hawk lock. I'm not familiar with that lock, but I'm sure it's a very unique lock. Looked like kind of a button or slidey lock. I'm sure Metal Complex has got a review on it. But Hawk makes some really cool stuff, and he's a very low-spoken guy. That's why I kind of knew he was going to be on the right side of that happened. But those are his custom knives. Some Hinders. Those are the XM24s, the big guys. There's a ZDP Zero Blade Play Hellhound Ultratech. We've got a basic one that's about $110 less than that. That's just got the regular black handle. That's a Stormtrooper, I think. Ours has got a black handle and a silver blade or a tumbled blade. That Hellhound is a Wicked Tanto. But I'm just going to go down through here quickly. And some Gen 4 UTX 85s. Those are the smaller ones. Utility knives. DLT is carrying now a lot of Three Rivers Manufacturing, TRM. So if you guys are on TRM's website and you've wanted a TRM Neutron and you can't find one, River's Edge Cutlery and DLT both now are dealers. So they've got almost all of the TRMs in stock. Those are Neutron 2s and 20 CV. There's a Nerd in MagnaCut and Fat Carbon. Let's get back down here. There's some handles for the American Service knife. That's the Swiss Army knife that Greg Medford's making. Very cool. Little bolt scraper. This goes in the back of it. You can switch out tools for that knife. Ox Manufacturing. That's one of the bigger pocket bowies. The knife that I showed you that Chris 229 gifted me. That's the Big Idea Design Company collaboration that they did with them on a fixed blade. They just did the titanium handles and they did the Big Idea Design Company sheath like they did on their Lookout. But that's an auxiliary manufacturing. It's a larger size than the little guy, the little Carl Jr. That's the size, I guess, the Carl size. And then they've got some Protect Malibus. It looks like they've got a Duke with a really wicked Mike Erie hand ground. Usually that's just a little flat ground knife. That one looks very bougie with a button and a pretty wicked grind, but not my jam. That's a very small knife. This is Joseph Vero and Protex collaboration, the Synapse. I've reviewed this knife and handled it. It's very good. Half micarta. For those of you that like a symmetry, you won't like this knife because it is half aluminum and half micarta, even if you get the black. I don't think they have a full aluminum version yet. Hammer Down Forge. I'm not familiar with them, but that's a pretty cool little knife, if I must say so. It kind of has that traditional vibe with a nice Warncliffe blade. I'm curious how big it is. 7.5 inches. So it's on the larger sides for me, but that's a cool fixed blade, in my opinion. MagnaCut, Hammer Down Forge. Was that USA? Yep. USA made knife that I was not at all familiar with a very cool sway back looking handle that looks very traditional. And hey guys, this should get you excited. I know if B Shady was in the house, he would be excited. This is a Jacob Creates Vanguard Mary, part of his Hail Mary series. This is a wicked Warncliffe. This knife is in CTS XHP. It's 6.6 inches. It's a little guy, but it's going to be bigger than the Chickadee. It's about 1.5 inches bigger than the Chickadee. I can't believe they're in stock. Usually these sell out immediately. That just shows that the knife business in general, and being around the holidays, things aren't moving as quickly as they did. They've got a lot of these Hammer Down Forge with different blade shapes. Vintage micarta, you know, that kind of looks to me traditional in its handle shape. 7.5 inches. It's got a pocket dropper sheath. It looks really nice. But that's a good size knife. 7.5 inches is, you know, a good size knife. Some Hinder half-track slicers. Those you usually don't see in stock. With acid wash blades. I'm assuming these are MagnaCut. Yep. So it's a good time if you're in the market for a knife, because there are a lot of knives that are in the market that usually aren't in the market. XM24s, they stay around a little while. Here's some scales for some skinnies, which are kind of rare. So they're going to, skinnies you don't see as much. So those scales, I'm sure they're going to sell a little less. And then here's some Medfords out the fronts and fixies. A lot of the same stuff. I'm going to peek at page 3, and then we're going to go Chris Reeves, large Sabenzas, Hinder Eclipses. A lot of Eclipses are in stock. Those haven't changed at all in price. They're still $425. If I give Rick Hinder anything, it's the fact that through all these crazy times, he's not increased his prices. His made in the USA knives are $4.25. So yeah, there's that. What's the H? What's the H on his pivot for? Usually that's a Traway symbol. Maybe that's just a generation. I don't know what that is. Still Traway, because there you can run washers, bearings, or phosphorus bronze, but I've never seen that H on the pivot before. None of my Hinders have that. It's got the Traway symbol right there. I know on the skinny, it had an S on it, but I don't know what the H designates. Some Millets. This is a USA company. I reviewed one of their fixed blades. I think that's one of their folders, and I think they're having it imported. Nope. USA. Interesting looking knife. Again, something I haven't seen in a long time. All right, Medfords, Finches, Jared's knife. Oh my. All right, I'm about to jump out of here. I'm going to go to Instagram real quick because Joe Isabella, I think, sent me a picture or was going to. Let's see if y'all came with me. And you did. All right, let's see what Joe Isabella is showing. Oh, look at these scales. Look at that scale material, guys. It's just a little lag. It'll come back. Come on. Joe, those are beautiful, dude. Those are going to be gorgeous. Look at those. Outstanding. Joseph, those are outstanding, sir. We're going to go over to the home screen. We're going to refresh it. And we're going to see Geek Machinist. So many people are talented with their pictures. Amsler Knives. I've got several of his knives. This guy is USA. This isn't his full-time job, but he makes the little mini Hurricanes, those neck scalpels, and he makes these ions and some different ones. Really cool stuff. I'll get a lot of cats in my feed, as you guys might imagine. Satu Dave, the man, the myth, the legend. Little razor knife. Mr. Designs. This is a cool looking knife. A top liner lock that actually has a place where you depress it up there. I'm going to hopefully get to check that out. Those are the baddest animals out there, by the way. They're immune to snake bites. They get chewed upon by all kinds of shit. They're not scared of anything. They're badasses. What's that? Sanding cat. All right, we're going to get out of here. 2 really nice knives and a crowbar. That's a model. Is that the Model 2? Looks like it's got a blade chop on it. Those are both American Blade Works, a slip joint and one of the folders. That's my man, Colin McGuire, Mag 10 Knife Works. He's the one that made my EDW, that little Warncliffe, my favorite fixed blade. This guy is a master knife maker. Makes super cool stuff. Dynavap. That's the best way to non-combust. If you're on any kind of herbal diet, you can use Dynavap products. There's a Jacob Creates Chickadee and MagnaCut. I just noticed that he started to put the blade steel on the blade. In the past, you've had to take the scales off, and it's stamped here, the blade material is, so that's kind of cool. That's a little 5-inch knife that got me. That knife started my fixed blade, I guess you'd call it addiction. Great little knife. The Chickadee rocks. Leon Ma's got something going on. What's that? Looks like black field duty folders. That's a great knife. The only thing that I have a problem with, and it's not a problem, it's just the hole is so big. My finger goes in that hole. Here's some of those DL Trading knives that we were just looking at. There's Jacob's knife, the Hail Mary or the Vanguard Mary, Bob Ware. That's the lead guitar or rhythm guitars for the Grateful Dead. Knives Fast, KC. Some cool knives. 3 very cool knives. All right, we're almost out of here. That's very weird. I don't get that. I'd be scared of that. Sharpening it, don't have any use for it. Case, I started following them just to get more. Again, there's so much there to learn. There's a little Kaiser. I don't have that fixed blade. I think that's the Muskrat. Watch this guy get lit up by this dog. Let's see if he makes it. I don't think it's going to go too good for him. Let's see if he's trying to get back over the fence. That's a pretty cool knife. I haven't done the review on it yet.
Hasn't had time for people to appreciate it. I do think that this is going to be a very popular.
The first thing I did is I took that thumb stud off with a T8 and I put it on the backside because this knife's perfectly symmetrical. You can put the thumb stud on either side, and now I reverse flick it. It's an Azo design. Pretty cool, but you can reverse that. That if you see it, and you'll see that it's a single stud, and you don't like that, you want to reverse flick it. All you got to do is get you a T8, and you can switch that to the back side. I did it in my unboxing video. There's that Badger again. They're badasses. Some Kaiser Christmas knives. All right, we're almost done. Raccoon. Another cat. Love them knives. I don't know if y'all have been to his website. I don't go to it that much, but he has a service. I don't know how he does it, but he's got a lot of used knives there, kind of like Blade Binge. Except he's just working with members of the community to sell their knives. If you've never been there, you might check it out. some lynxes. There's a tenable fin rear, which is the concept. But bargain company, that knife's probably, it's a top liner lock and it's probably $50. There's another one in a liner lock. Anyway, cool stuff. Instagram rocks, even though they don't let knife pictures be shown. I'll show you guys the pictures I've been taking because most of these are crazy knives from down at Knives and More. So these two are a matching set. These are Paragon automatics. It's a USA made company. There's a full size and a mini there. Those are called Paragon Cobras and a Paragon Mini Cobra. That's a new case canoe in black curly maple. That is one of their S35 VNs. Hold on one second. Give me 1 second. I apologize. I've got a piper at the door. Be right back. Sorry about that, guys. There was a cat at the gate of the door. Going back real quick because I was going to show you some more of these kind of weird knives. So that's one of the new patterns. That's a case knife that's made out of S35 VN. They've got a Barlow and they've got a Sidebuster Junior. That's my tipper, my concept. That is an Almar automatic. I'm not familiar with Almar. I think they're Japanese, but that's a pretty rare knife, allegedly. That is a very pretty knife. It's a one-armed razor. Why'd I put it car razor? I misspelled it. I hate trying to do all this shit off my phone. But anyway, another case, I'm trying to learn about these. So this is a custom Dan Eastland knife. Very, very slicey, tall, flat grind, 154 cm or CPM 154. It's about 9.5 inches. I guess you'd call it a bushcrafter. This is a W.C. Davis. This little knife, we've got 3 of these. This is a lockback folder. This is a $300 knife. We've got a medium semi-skinner and a small semi-skinner that are both $250. I don't know anything about them. I know it's got a mirrored blade and it's allegedly very rare. This was just purchased. That was a Magna Cut double gunner grip Strider. That is Greg Datcher, the guy that was on Friday Night Flicks right after Halloween, the artist that came on that was showing us some knives. That's one of his little duty knives in a sheath. That is Shane's favorite knife. Shane. That is a Benchmade Crooked River and a Mini Crooked River. Their new Salt series. Those are Magna Cut acid washed. So they've actually added that to their Salt series. We have 2 of those. Those are gold class Necrons in Damasteel and Fat Carbon. I forget how much those are, but they're ridiculous. Great little ProTech S35V in the holdout. That is a very cool little pokey stabby folding knife. This is the new Benchmade Altitude. You guys might remember this knife used to just have this little carbon fiber triangle here, and then the scale was just S90V. So now you still got the full S90V tang, but you've got a full scale on both sides. That is the Altitude. Very cool. My Zero Blade Play Microtech. It's a great knife. And then this knife is beautiful. This is big. This is an HL Holbrook. The handle is gorgeous. It's got a Tree of Life pins. I forget what the blade steel is. That's one from, I forget when. That's one of Ken Onion's early designs. That's the weirdest knife. It opens and closes extremely weird. It's called the ET. They're very rare, or they're old. And then this is a Puma. These knives are from Germany. They're very highly desired, and they're expensive. And there's a Buck Alpha Pro Scout. I was kind of impressed by that knife. I did a review on it. I like the shape of it. I like the size of it. I like the jimping. The sheath is really nice, except it forces you to carry it the long way or carry it like vertically. That is a really nice little cold steel Pendleton Mini Hunter. This grip is rubberized. The blade's S35. It's about 6 inches. Really cool little knife. That is a Whittler, a Seahorse Whittler in red micarta. I think that's a cool knife. I don't have any. Well, I've got one that was one of Jason Brown's knives, but it's a multi-blade knife. All of my other slip joints are single blades. This one kind of strikes me as a cool knife. That's my buddy A to Z's. That knife right there is a North Mountain Blades Chop Ultra with the Lee Williams Kickstart or Lee Williams Kickstop flipper. That knife is absolutely amazing in action, very well built, and it's $130 retail with a Lee Williams Kickstop. I think it's one of the best values out there. Very Japanese inspired. They also do the Dwyer collaboration, but that's just a quality knife for $130. With the, again, the quick kickstop, you'll notice when you hit that flipper tab, instead of it coming out here, it disappears. It folds into the blade. There's Puck, the feral cat that just started to live at my house, like inside and shit. That's an old Benchmade fixed blade called the 375 SN, the fixed Adamas. That was the first fixed Adamas. Tonto doesn't look anything like the Adamas of today. Hinder Battlefield pickup, XM18, kind of a rare Hinderer. Here are a couple of the S35 VN Sidebuster Juniors. I think those are about $99, those cases in S35. Here's another case, one-armed razor knife. I just think the handles are really pretty on those. That's why you'll see so many pictures of those. I get more attracted to the handles and the blades. That's called a large Coke bottle. That thing is huge. Little raspberry bone trapper. PP Ultim. That's the first production limited edition. I want to say it's M4 Freak. I think it's M4 and Ultim. And this knife right here is one of Tate Estes's. This knife he made, he brought it in to show me, and it sold before I even got to take more pictures of it. He sold this to a guy in the knife store. This is a little small knife that one of the guys I work with, one of the owners, made like a couple of days before. A really cool little knife. And that's one of Greg Datcher, the guy who was on Friday Night Flicks. I just showed you one of his knives. This is one of his more art knives, I guess you'd say, much more substantial, bigger. Yeah. Got a couple of Mac 2s down there that have one flat grind. The blue one's flat. The purple and gray is hollow. That is an old Benchmade 4201. That's number 10 of 100 of a Balisong aluminum. And then an old Praetorian. And then lastly, this is the dude Levi that I work with. That's what he carried. That was a Ryan knife. I'd not even seen Ryan knives before, but that's sitting next to my 3-inch Hinder that I was carrying that day. So he carries big ass knives, really cool kid, has a really cool collection. He's the one that's got all those Great Eastern cutleries. But there's some really cool, interesting knives where I work. That's called a Falkniven. That's a cool little knife, but it's a Deutsch knife, LT Wright. That's a beautiful first production Bark River. It's not an Essential 2. It's actually a small hunter. That's the wrong name. I think maybe it is the Essential 2. Hold on, guys. I'm about to be out of here. I'm having a quick little, I know I posted it before and I thought it was called something different, that Bark River. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out of here. I don't want to think about it. But yeah, most of these knives, one of my brothers from another mother bought that beautiful knife. And I sent it to him. That's a 121, Rex 121 Sage 5. That is a new bug out tagged out that I really like, an S90V and G10. Trying to find that knife again to see what I called it. Oh, hell. Oh, well. I guess I don't have it anywhere close. I know that's driving y'all crazy because y'all might not even be seeing anything. There it is. What did I call it before? Essential 2. Okay, so that's the Bark River Essential 2. Look at that silver and blue Mokume on the handle that goes into that black canvas micarta. It's a beautiful little knife. I'm back. We're done. The Barlow's probably my favorite. All the Barlows we have now are 2-blade Barlows. I've got the 1-blade fetish. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm a 1-blade fetish guy. Where'd my chat go? Why did it disappear? There it is. It's back. Who've I missed? Double D Blades. Good to see you, brother. Thomas EDC. Good to see you, man. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're just looking at some knives. I'm going to show y'all some knives here in a second. I'm going to show you what's in my pocket. Joe is amazing. Joe has made all of my B up art. I don't know if you can tell, but that's got 3 inlays where the B and the P are. Joe made that. Just a little worry stone. It'll look at you. A little chewy, a little be up. It was be up day yesterday. There's not. I think of Jason Brown often. That guy, I know a lot of the people in the community, even if you didn't meet Jason, you've heard stories about him. You've heard Stevie talk about him. You've heard a lot of people tell stories about him. He was just a great, great human being, a great friend. I wish I could be that kind of friend. I wish I could be that attentive. He was just absolutely wonderful. I got to meet him. I was blessed. We got to have dinner together with a group of people at Blade Show 2022. Walked around for a couple of days, hung out, but then had one really nice quiet dinner. And he's just didn't say a lot, but didn't have to. I always say he smiled with his eyes. His eyes were just full of smiles. So be up, everybody. Be up and be happy. And it's a tough time of the year, but just coast through it, roll through it. Everything's going to be just fine. It's got to be. There's no choice, right? I don't have a choice, unfortunately. But anywho, I've got to review this little guy. I did an unboxing on it. This is a Tuya knife, but it's actually a Tuya made knife. It's modern Bade design, or modern Bade, not blade, modern Bade design. It is a very unique little chode in that it's got a very full-sized handle when you hold this knife, even though it's super small. It's got a small blade, but it's titanium frame lock. Really good action. Very slicey. Deep hollow in the center. It's got a flat on the Tonto. Thumb studs. Just a little titanium and some of that crystallized tie around the pivot. That review is coming. Tomorrow, I'm reviewing a knife. I'm going to give you all a sneak peek. Hold on. So as long as I've been, I'm sorry guys, my nose is running. As long as I've been at Knives and More, this knife has been sitting over on the shelf. I'm not that aware of Dawson knives. They're a USA made company. The knife I'm getting ready to show you is an Outcast. It's CPM 3V. The finish is apocalyptic black. You'll see that. It's got some little smudgies on the blade. Blue and black G10s, sheath Kydex. The sheath is next level. Not my jam because I don't carry it on a belt, but in terms of a quality sheath, it is sick. It's got other ways to mount it in the box. It's got all kinds of little attachments. It's got an entire different separate sheath. I don't know if that's a left-handed sheath, but it does have another sheath in there. And this is the knife. It is called the Outcast. It does have jimping up here. I don't know why you would grab that trigger. It's a thick, flat grind. Very comfortable. The G10 handles are kind of round, but it's a narrow blade, right? Don't necessarily know what it's, maybe a hunter, but again, I do not know why you've got jimping right here, because that is not a finger choil, and that is way too close to that corner of that blade for me to be comfortable anywhere but right here. So I'm going to talk about that, and it'll be more of an overview than a review. But you can't really see the splotches on the blade. You can. It's got these little apocalyptic little splotches. The CPM 3V. And it's stamped 56. Surely that's not the HRC. Made in USA. Dawson Knives. Are y'all familiar with Dawson Knives? Is anybody familiar with Dawson Knives? I'm not, but I'm going to check it out. What I do before I do a review on something like this is I'll go to their website. I'll go learn about them. The knife on the card was like $220. I think we've got it for right around $220. But it's been there for a while. I don't know if it's a bushcrafting knife, if it's a hunting knife, if it's an EDC knife, if it's a tactical knife. I guess it could do any of those things, just depending on what you needed it to do. So that will be that'll be coming. And I was telling y'all earlier about the casebook. That's where I've been trying to just learn basically all that shit. I mean, there are 2 pages of that. There are tons of different patterns of different blade configurations. I have people coming in, collectors that are asking for specific stuff. I don't even know where to start. Double D, cool. I don't know anything about them. I've heard somewhere good things about them. I'm interested in checking it out. I assume it's more of a hard use blade. Matter of fact, since we just looked at it, let's see what their website says. All right, looks like they're a fixed blade exclusive company. Let's see with EDC. This one's called the Outcast. Outcast. So they've got it built for those who thrive on the edge of convention. The Outcast delivers Dawson's second longest EDC frame paired with a versatile drop point blade. No thanks. I hate pop-ups. Slim, balanced, and undeniably capable. It's a blade that turns survival into a statement. So that's it. It looks like now they offer it in Pro Cut or Magna Cut. It looks like they've got it in Pro Cut for $190. They're sold out in Magna Cut. Wow, I wonder if you can get it in two different heat trees. You can get it in a rainstorm, which is sold out, or a wildfire, which is a point lower. So that's the Outcast. Very cool. They have it as an everyday carry. So they've got hunting knives. Looks like they're using Pro Cut and Magna Cut. Looks like their Magna Cut is sold out almost on every model, but their Pro Cut is available. So $260, 9.5 inches. They've got that varying rainstorm versus wildfire, which have different HRCs. I don't know why. Anyway, what's Dawson X, Wesley Huff? These might be nice ones. Oh, yeah, swords. Yeah, they look like they do really cool stuff. So I'm interested to learn more about them. I won't make you guys learn with me, but they've got swords and bowies, backpacking and survival. They all have this weird little jimping thing here. I mean, I don't know what the deal is there. All of them have. This one doesn't have jimping. I think it's a sharpening choil. But why you would have jimps on that side, I don't know. This one, Magna Cut. Oh, it doesn't have one. I thought it was going to show me the price difference in Magna Cut and Pro Cut. I know Shane talks about it quite a bit. Let's see, Magna Cut. $410. Pro Cut is $320. So $90 difference from Pro Cut to Magna Cut. Kevin Smith the Knives, what is up? Good to see you, man. Who else has slipped in here? I'm back. Yeah, we were just looking. Again, that's something I'm not that familiar with, but I wanted to, check it out a little bit, and we will learn about it. We will see what's up. What kind of restarted the slip joint thing for me was this trestle. And Kaiser has this in a lot of different configurations. They've got a spear point that's part of the January collection, where this is a drop point. They have a couple of different bodies. I've only seen or only experienced the trestle, but it's a nice slip joint, modern slip joint. Yeah, Richard, it seems like, I think Shane would tell us the cost is probably a little bit, it should be more than that. I don't know though. I would prefer for $90 on a knife that big, because that was a big knife. I would probably go with the Magna Cut, just because I'm surprised that Spyderco in their Salt series, they're not using LC200. They're using Magna Cut. So all of their Salt stuff that's coming out, Benchmade as well with their C series, is Magna Cut. So I'm assuming The Contractor, sweet, Double D. Let me look at that one real quick. That was one of the EDCs. Let me go back to EDC. I'll share it here in just a second. Contractor. See, it looks like it's got a taller blade. It looks like it would be a little more slicey, and this one might surprise me. This one looks a little bit more pokey stabby, where this Contractor looks very nice. Most heavy-duty EDC built for rugged 3/16 with confident drop point. Let's see how big this guy is. 7.6 inches. Handle looks very interesting. Looks very comfortable. Very cool. I love the shape of it. What blade steel is yours? Because I know this one's 3V and they're not doing any of that stuff. Double D, is your Contractor 3V or what were they using then? Because it looks like now it's just Magna Cut and Pro Cut. And the one I've got is from 2022 and it's 3V. They are a little funky, but some of the coolest blades are very funky. I mean, I think the fret, the little knife I drew and carry is very funky. Magna Cut, sweet. I mean, that's a funky little shape, but it works well for the stuff I cut. That's a Stonewash Magna Cut. And it's just made to be slicey. To cut cardboard and stuff like that, where the Dawson looks a little more purpose-built, where it's got a little more, even the Contractor looks like it's beefier. I mean, they look like they'd be good, I don't say beater in a bad way, but you could beat the heck out of them and they'd hold up. That's another thing I was not that aware of is the case fixed blades. People buy those like crazy. The buck fixed blades, which look pretty nice. I'm just not. I used to love bucks. Cases too. I mean, case slip joints I can kind of get an affinity for, but the fixed blades, like the nice bucks or the nice case, are a Nitro V. So, I mean, they look okay. Let me show you what I'm talking about. But we had probably 6 before the this one right here. We had 6 of these before the rush started. The rush, I guess, was like a week or 2 ago. And they've all been bought up. That is a little case. They call it the CTI Hunter. I think it's Nitro V. Micarta handle. Got a leather basic sheath. Let me find it. There's a sheath. Not very big. I mean, it's a smaller knife. I've just seen, I mean, it's not bad. I just doesn't blow my skirt up. 4-inch blade. I mean, and this one we have too. That one, I hate the handle, but I like the blade better. The handle reminds me of that Spyderco from Taichung, Taiwan. That carbon fiber G10. But the blade shape of this one's very nice, and it's S35. But because they're case and so many people come in there, they love them, you know, and that's what they're going to buy. They're going to buy case knives. So that is what it is. And I can get behind it, you know, if people like what they like, and you can't, I've learned this, that we all like what we like for different reasons, and that's a good thing. And you don't have to, you know, you don't have to like what other people like. Most people are miles apart from each other. I mean, miles apart. They walk in, they'll be looking for a board. They'll be looking for, where'd I go? I hear you, but I can't hear. I'll come back. All right. I'm getting the spinning wheel of death. Come on now. Am I back? Did it give me life? It just went black. That's bizarre. Bliminati, what is up, brother? I'm going to assume I'm back. Maybe back. I hope I'm back. Show y'all something cool. If you didn't see it last week, that's from CountyCom, that little like tube. You take the top off. Three little spikes. This is Batman shit here. Third one. Turns into a little grappling hook. Isn't that pretty cool? Put it on a fishing rod. Throw it to help hang your hammock. Throw it over a limb. Will I ever use it? Probably not. But I thought it was very, very cool. They make them in 3 sizes. That's the tiniest. They make it in one that's about that big. And they make it in a medium size. But those little titanium spikes screw in. And when you're not using them, they store in the center there. Joe Isabella's fading. Dude, I'm tired too. And I got to work tomorrow. But I've got to try to chug it out for a little longer till Stevie comes. Stevie's going to be live in a couple of hours. I think they're live. Surely they're live. Let's see what time they're going to be live. They were on Stevie's channel, so I think they'll be on Maddie's. Let's see. Upcoming. Oh, yeah. In 97 minutes. So I've got to go probably about another 60, 70 minutes. Maybe go 3 hours. Don't want to cut into Stevie's time, but definitely want to get over to the couch. Don't think I'll go to Taco Bell, even though it's tempting. Nah, won't do that. Yeah, if you guys have any links that you want to share to your socials, that's why you all should have wrenches. Feel free. And I'm actually waiting on a shirt. I had a company reach out, a merch company that's different than Teespring. I've not looked at their stuff, but I'm going to get a shirt that I'm going to check out. And I may change my merch store from Teespring to this other company. Let's see what it's called. If the quality of stuff's better. Because I buy my merch and I noticed that the t-shirts, the sweatshirts held up great. The t-shirts have they kind of lose their color. Not the color of the shirt, the color of the print. And again, I'm not a designer, so my shit doesn't really, it probably should be designed different. But let's see, it is TeePublic. I'm not familiar with TeePublic. Have y'all heard about TeePublic? Oh, dude, congratulations. What a great little knife. It is a little guy. It's a 3-finger little beast, though. I love that little knife. I love the sheath that it comes in. And yours is MagnaCut, I bet. I think that's what they're making them of now. Mine is that PSB 23 or 27. It's like a D2. It was the first I bought one at Blade Show when they first done them, kind of prototype type thing. I've got it over there because I'm getting ready to film when I get my, I would do it tonight, but I've got to redo my dad's meds, and working is kind of throwing a wrench into it. But I'm going to do my top fixed blades of 2025. It's a whole bunch of them because they're different price points. They're just the ones that caught my attention. And the tag along is over there because it's one of them. Yeah, they're great, great little knives. Mine's a taco sheath. They didn't have any of the pancake leather ones, but the pancake leather I think would suit me better because I'm a back pocket guy. But I love that little knife. It fits great in the sheath. I like the shape. I like the size. I think it's just a winner. I'm glad you got one, buddy. Yeah, Richard's the lanyard man, and I need to learn how to tie one better. I need to learn I can tie a snake knot, but for some reason, you got the pancake, Kevin. That's what I would have liked. The pancake is sweet. It would be a great back pocket knife. That's where I carry mine. And I carry that tag along quite a bit. I was carrying it, not almost exclusively, but I was carrying it a lot. I've been carrying my fret pretty much since I got this last one. Lucky Dog Knife Co., what is up, buddy? That's Andrew, the Bulldog. I've got the Bulldog in my double decker sheath that I carry every day. That's one of Andrew's designs. And I've got his River Dog on the table with all the other knives because it's going to be in my best of 2025 video coming up. Andrew makes really cool knives. He designs them, and then David Mary Custom makes them in Canada, hand makes them. Very, very cool. And there are videos. I've sat on YouTube, and there's this one video that's really easy to teach you how to tie a good snake knot. I somehow get it about halfway through, my knots mixed up, and it doesn't line up just right. They get twisted, and it just frustrates the bejesus out of me because I think I'm using too thick a paracord. I have that survival cord stuff that's still 7 strands, but it's got like a strand of fire retardant line in there. It's got a little Kevlar line, a little fishing line, so it's thicker than regular paracord. Maybe that's my problem. Maybe that's why I'm not able to knock them out as easy or as quickly or as effectively as the video. But there's some great videos on how to tie those snake knots. And it's a pretty easy process. I just can't seem to get it to stay consistent and to get my knot to move down the way I want it to. But we may have a guest or two jump in tonight. I reached out to our brother, Dark Gravity. I saw him today on Instagram and would love to see him, but I know he's busy. Kind of cold outside. And I know he usually chills outside or he can smoke. I think Shane's busy. I know Ryan is finishing up before he, I think, gets to take a week off from his job. That guy works more hours than anybody I know. And that's not a good thing, but he's busting it. But yeah, hopefully you guys got to spend time last night at the Honey Bucket, which is kind of a special edition of the Honey Bucket for Be Up Day. I was in there. I don't know if it's Stevie's voice or whose, but something, I woke up and it was over. I was chatting and then I was not. So if I ghosted any of you, it's because that's when I fell asleep. Eyes closed, was no longer conscious. It's almost like, I don't think it's narcolepsy but I do. I will take these little power naps that are just not be tired, be sitting down, something come on TV that's got kind of a monotone voice or something that's just easy to listen to, and boom, I'm out. And I'll wake up and it's an hour later or an hour and a half later or 2 hours later. It's just weird. I can't like go to bed at midnight or 1 o'clock, or I'll just lay there. It's just odd. Brashear Beer, what is up, brother? Good to see you, man. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the Said Faction pre-rally to hang out and chill, talk about knives, talk about lives until we get up to Said Faction, where they'll talk about God knows what. But they'll have a crew. I imagine Sharif will be around, Stevie. I think Stevie's through traveling for the year. That was the great thing about being a corporate dude and getting to this time of the year. It was all pretty much done, but the crying or the cheering. It happens, dude. I'm telling you, I've got to keep my brain engaged, and I've had real bad ADHD. I got diagnosed when I got sober, but I've always had it. I just didn't always know what it was. But when I had a schedule, I'd kind of gotten to where I was managing it pretty well with a combination of medicine and behavioral therapy and a schedule and ways to keep me on schedule. Everything was great. And then when it kind of changed and I was no longer doing that and I was just doing YouTube for a little while and I was trying to manage my schedule, it wasn't working. It's still not. I mean, now at least I've got like 12 to 6 tomorrow. I know what I'll be doing, right? And usually it's 2 to 6 is the time that I spend out at the store. So that's a little bit of a schedule, and I try to do YouTube stuff in the morning, but I'm still doing YouTube stuff late at night. I haven't gotten to where, because I can still go to bed at 5 o'clock, sleep 6 hours, and be at work fine because I'm not an 8-hour sleeper. Dude, that's why I originally started doing Insomniacs live on Tuesday because I wasn't working. I'm thinking if I need to keep doing that, I'm going to play that by ear because I was doing it because late night, there's rarely anything to watch. And I was up and I never knew if other people were nighttime people, night owls, right? And one night, Ed Harrison joined me, 2 nights actually. We went for 10 hours one night till like 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. And there were people in there. People woke up over in Europe and were in the chat. So it's pretty cool. I know people don't like the vertical. I can't never tell. I mean, to me, it looks, because I'm looking at it vertically when I do a vertical live, and it looks like it's a little smaller because it's set for a phone screen. But I guess the texting's harder. I never minded it on the Honey Bucket streams. And I always thought that I'd bring some of those funny people in that just talk smack, to troll me so I could have fun with them. But we don't seem to get a lot of trolls when I go vertical. I get probably 3 times the people that see the live, but I don't have people engaging with me like they were in Stevie's Honey Bucket lives, where he had people come in and just say stupid shit, which I thought was really funny how he dealt with those trolls. I always found that to be entertaining. One of my favorite things about the Honey Bucket, in all actuality, was the trolls. The trolls coming in and the trolls going out. And Stevie talking to him about his airport. I always thought that was good. Conga Blades, you do not have a moderation hammer. Wait a minute. Now, Conga Blades, you can share links. You should be blue like everybody else. So you can share a link to your socials, to your buddy's socials. I try to make sure that once people have been here for a while and I know kind of who they are, that you get the blue moderator so you can share a link or two if you want to. And it'll keep Shane from putting you in timeout. He likes to do that when he pops into a live. But I think they're busy now. I think a lot of people have stuff going on. It's getting close to Christmas. People are rushing around doing stuff. And then again, a lot of people are out of work, traveling, I'm sure. So I'm not doing anything, so I might as well hang with you guys. So what I'm going to do real quick is I never go to Blade HQ, but we're going to make a special exception to see what is going to be coming soon. Not what's new, but what's going to be coming soon. And then we'll do that for about 10 minutes. Look at some knives. Coming soon to Blade HQ. I'm not Pumping Blade HQ. I just looked there because they have more stuff that's coming in new. We'll go to White Mountain Knives afterwards. Looks like they got some Kershaw in the donut. Magpul, don't know anything about them. I guess they're a USA company. Are they? Magpul, they're the people that make the Pew Pew magazines, right? Are they the Pew Pew magazine people? What is up, buddy?
How we doing, man?
We're doing good.
You
We're
hear
just looking at a couple knives. I hear you good.
Okay.
Hold on a second. I'm about to stop sharing this. These mantra things I've been seeing them pop up. These liner lock from Spyderco's, these China. Have you seen these, Kyle?
Yeah, they make it's a good looking knife, but it's an 8CR, is it not?
Yeah, 8CR 13.
Yeah.
$71. That seems a little high. How are you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm okay. I was scrambling I've been working on my desk today trying to get move
It
my
looks like a
monitor.
totally different desk.
Moved my monitor and I got a boom arm for my mic, and then changed over my overhead camera setup a little bit. So
It looks very clean, dude. Looks very clean. Have you heard of Dawson Knives?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't heard of them. I brought one home that's just been sitting down there since before I was there to try to learn about it. Hey, Kyle, heard you sharpen knives.
Not lately. Lately, I've been busy doing other stuff, but that's all right. How you guys doing?
Hey, we're doing good. A lot of people were getting tired waiting for Stevie last night. I fell asleep in the middle of the Be Up live stream. Night double day, D Blades.
Yeah, I got enthralled and I was lurking for a little bit, but I was sanding forever. So
you were working during it?
Yeah.
So how's that coming? Good? Or just a lot?
I got it's a lot. I mean, Cheetos is done. I was working on the secondary one that I was can't really here. Let me see if it'll show off very well or not.
Oh, that's a cool little knife, dude. Look how smooth it is. So you've been doing that with sandpaper or blocks, or what do you do that with?
Sandpaper and lots of elbow grease.
Dang, dude, that looks clean.
And that one's 65 S90. So I got about just shy of 9 hours in that.
Oh my God, dude. Because it's just so hard.
Yeah, it just takes forever. My thumbs are bruised and
battered.
Yeah. Almost numb.
I'm amazed at how many people come in the knife store, not just to get their kitchen knife sharpened, but to get their EDC knife sharpened, which tells me that there's a huge part of the knife community that can benefit from good sharpening. A lot of people don't, and they'll even say they just don't feel like they can do it right. They don't have the equipment. They don't have the time. You know, they're not looking for it like I look for it as a therapeutic hobby. They're looking just to get their knife sharp when it gets dull.
Well, it used to be that way for me, and then now it's not so much anymore. But I mean, I still enjoy it. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like the same. I don't get a thrill doing it anymore
because you've been doing so many.
Well, that, and then it just turns into anything. You go down the rabbit hole so far, it's fun to get better and learn things, but then after a while, you just kind of get, I wouldn't say burn out, but I don't know, you lose passion, I guess, a little bit for it. So just,
well, you're picking up knowledge along the way. So I guess there's less to learn once you get to certain places. It's
the thing about life is, though, this isn't sharpening, whatever. If you're not consistently trying to get better, you're not going to ever progress. You're going to get stagnant and fall behind. So like, I'm always testing theories and always testing new actions as far as, you know, what I think might work or might not work, and then seeing how the outcome goes. So that way I can formulate my own. And I've done that for a year and a half, 2 years now, but now it's less about testing and more putting into practice what I've been kind of
fabricating and testing.
Gathered up and made my own kind of philosophy out of things. So it's
well, it works, dude. I mean, you're producing some super sharp shit. K Mason, that is Coonley Tip. Hey, Kyle, you'll enjoy a guest we're going to have after the first of the year.
What's up, guys?
Is it Gary Creeley? Is that the right name? The guy from Creeley Knives. He's unique because he's one of the few guys using Magnamax. He's friends of Laren.
Right.
Because they all live in, and John Denton and Andrew Demko, they all live in the same area, I guess. I think you heard me say they've had Magnamax from one batch from Crucible and one batch from this other place. And he just said, pretty basic, frankly, that he just wasn't ready for prime time. When we were it's better than any MagnaCut, but just for what the steel is supposed to do, I guess it's not doing it consistently, i.e. the formulation is not, I forgot what he called it. There was a word for it. So, systemized or something.
Let me kind of go off on a small tangent if you don't mind. So
sure.
This got brought up in a conversation in a stream, I think last weekend or whatever. And I just kind of want to clarify a point because I don't, it's hard to get everything through in chat messages. And I think things can get misconstrued and people can get, upset about stuff. But I wanted to make my point clear. There is no perfect steel, and there is no perfect steel in the future. There's always going to be compromises, and you have to pick the best steel for the task that you need it for. So Magnamax may be better than MagnaCut at certain things, but it's also worse in certain areas as well too. So you have to figure out what the best option for you and what the use case of that tool is going to be, then proper heat treat and proper geometry to make it the best option you can for what you're going to use it for. And that can vary widely between, different types of tools.
Right. And like a cutter versus a prior or a harder use tool.
So like when I've said in the past that 1095 to me is obsolete, it doesn't mean that anyone who has 1095, it's a horrible knife. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying for the value proposition of what's available currently on the market, there are better options as an all-around steel for the price point. I'm not going to harp on saying that it, something is what in comparison to what's available, certain steels are obsolete. Yes. And that's my opinion. And I'm basing my opinions based off of scientific data. Now, everyone's use case and scenarios have been different. So their personal experience may be different. And I'm not going to argue with that with someone. That's perfectly fine. But when I'm going through things, looking at it, logically and scientifically and figuring out makeups of things, there are options out there that have gotten better over the years for certain categories. Everything progresses. So some of the old stuff, while maybe usable and apt for certain things, doesn't make it the best option available now for the money. In hindsight, saying that a steel from yesteryear isn't good is relative. It's not comparable to what's currently available. So you're comparing apples and oranges. So when D2 came out, it was hot shit, right? Now it's still decent if done well, but not every single time. So, I mean, it depends. It depends on the use case. And that's what I was trying to get across. So I don't want people to think I am a little bit of a steel snob because I nerd out about that stuff. Not everyone does. Not everyone cares. and that's perfectly fine too.
Right, but you're doing you're digging into the science of what's available now, which I think's a very
And,
valuable service to share with people.
and by doing that, I'm also wanting people to get. I want people to get the best value for their money, and I want makers like Shane and other people, if that's what they want to do and that's their passion, to be able to offer the best value for people's money. That's all. What was the question?
Ask Kyle if I should have used like Magnamax for my one, or actually just finish the blade. That 3/4 inch should be Magna cut. I didn't see the first part of that question.
I made a blade that's 3/4 of an inch long. Should that be Magna cut? It depends on what you're using it for, buddy. I think you can make it out of whatever you wanted to. It depends on the end goal of that.
K Mason says, isn't Pro Cut an 80 CRV2 variant with nickel added?
I don't know the complete makeup of Pro Cut. Shane's delved more into that category than I've not got into Magna Cut. Pro Cut all that much yet. I mean, I think so, but it depends on what you're going to use it for, buddy. So that someone might want it in that. Well,
for one thing, I don't know if you heard me say, Kyle, but Spyderco changed their salt series from LC whatever to Magna Cut. Yeah, so all their salt series are, I think, Magna Cut now. So they're looking at stainless property. I thought that Magna Max was better on all parts of the triangle a little bit than Magna Cut. No. So it gives up something. What's it giving up?
Toughness. So okay. Magna Max is more similar to everyone's going to do comparison, so I'm just going to throw it out there. It is similar in properties and in theory to a stainless K390. So it's going to have extreme edge retention. It's going to have well, now that it's going to be stainless, it's going to have some properties that it didn't have before it being carbon. So it's going to have some variation of rust prevention, but it's not going to be as tough as Magna Cut, I should say.
I got you.
Yeah, K Mason 15 and 20 is what Pro Cut was designed to take over for, because that's what Laren's dad had created. 15 and 20 basically for his stainless Damascus.
So is Laren's dad, are they some of the only like knife focused metallurgists, or just the most well known? I guess that's where Laren got his start, was from his dad. I didn't know his dad was into that until I heard you say it a while back.
Yeah. So size appropriate, it could be size appropriate, but it could also be what the person or the customer wants. If the customer wants patina and they want it to be traditional, old fashioned, then they may want 1095. Or if they want it to be modern and they want it to be very, very rust preventative, then they may want Magna Cut. It just depends on what the use case is and what the person wants it for. So again, there's no necessarily right answer to,
well, if you're between
every single option.
If you're between 80 and 92 years old and you live in Huntsville, Alabama, and you're a case collector, you're 80% more likely to go for the carbon steel.
Well, yeah, that's what you're used to.
Right.
Right.
And man, they're picky. Those guys are picky. They'll look at they know what they're looking for. I'll give them that. And most of these collections I'm learning, these never come out of the box. Like they'll get John or somebody, if it's not one that's come from case, we've got a bunch of this brown paper, that they wrap them up with. There's a certain way that you wrap a case, that case knives come wrapped. And these old timers want them wrapped that way, put in the box, because they're never taking them out of the box. It's not that they're just going to put them in their case. They're collecting them in the boxes. And that's how he comes across this 1920s, 1930 collection stuff that's in our store, because these people's widows come in and trade the shit in or sell it.
What's up, Five Door? Todd, Richard, Terry, DC. Patina, did Shane get a hold of you about what I was talking to him about? I basically was trying to get you my info so you could reach out because I know your IG issues. And DC, I think that's what it comes down to. And that's why I wanted to clarify that it comes down to the use case and personal preference, but there are very determinable differences between certain steels. And I think there are, oh, you just called me? I didn't realize that my phone's on my computer, so it didn't buzz through. So and I think a lot of it comes down to whether or not you want the latest and greatest, or you're content with what works. And that's perfectly fine if that's what you want. But I'm on the other camp. So, you know, to each their own, right? So, but I just wanted to clarify because I know a lot of people think I may say something and like think I'm saying it's gospel, and I'm not talking down to about anyone else or their hobbies or what they're into. It's just a matter of my preference and what I'm looking for out of something. So,
and you're helping educate people about properties of steel, which again, I think it's not that the customers aren't looking for it. I think there's a large percentage of just knife buying public that don't know the difference. Like, I don't know if you were here earlier, Kyle, but I had a conversation with a guy today. We've got like 6 Benchmade bug outs, and they're all different steel, different handles. And I spent an hour trying to tell him why they were priced differently, what was different from not just the FRN to G10, but the different blade steels. And this was a knife guy. This guy has probably bought Benchmades for 20 years. He didn't know what S30V was when he was buying it. He just knew the butterfly was there.
Right.
You know, and we had a collection come in today. I want to say 40 to 50 Benchmades from one guy. And these were all users.
That works. 5-door. He, that'll be cool.
I did notice on that Dawson knife that I brought home, it was 3V. And if you go to their website, you can't find 3V anymore. It's either Pro Cut or Magna Cut, or all their knives are in either those two steels. So I wonder if they made that change because they found those steels better than 3V, or because the market was more receptive to those steels. Okay, and they're about $90 difference for a big knife to go from Pro Cut to Magna Cut.
I want to ask a question, and this is completely genuine, and I'm curious your answer, DC. So I agree that 1095 has been tested and it's been used for a long time, and it's been sufficient for a lot of people. If we look at a steel, and I'm just going to do a comparison as far as similar cost as a maker, similar cost as use as far as what it takes for consumables and tooling. And let me ask this. So if you compared 14C to 1095, in my opinion, and based off of every statistical and empirical evidence that I've seen, 14C beats it in every single category. That being said, there are anecdotal evidence that 1095 can be phenomenal, but that a lot of that's depending upon heat treat and if you're running it soft. But then the downside to that are different as well too.
You can get a lot tougher knife, but your edge retention is going to suffer greatly.
Correct.
Because of that heat treat difference, right?
Correct. But so say you take something like 14C. DC, I'm not trying to argue. I'm just asking a question. I wanted to see your opinion on something. I think 1095 is suitable for certain things. I'm just was curious what your opinion on something like that was. There wasn't a disagreement. It was just a
hypothetical question.
Yeah, I just wanted to pick your opinion on it. That's all.
Yeah, there are never wrong answers or anything like that in here. We're just all finding our way through the trails.
Yeah, I mean, I like to pick people's brain to see where their angle, where they're coming from on things. That way, we can have general conversations about topics.
And I can tell you, D. Conga, the people that I talk to daily in the knife store, they don't know anything different than the steels that they've always felt comfortable with. And that's just nothing wrong with that. And I can sit there and talk to them about super steels and they're not receptive. Again, I can understand because they're not there to get an education. They're there to buy a knife. And it's whatever works, that's what's cool about the hobby is there's so many variations and choices. But I thought it was interesting that Dawson just now offers Pro Cut or Magna Cut. Those are the only two choices in steel. And then Kyle, they offer two like a wildfire and some other finish, and they're different HRCs for the same knife. You ever heard of that?
Yeah, I've heard that. So Terry, yeah, you can definitely do different types of heat treat to get it. I mean, you can even do it with hormones and all kinds of things to try to get different results out of it. Okay, DC, I'm just making sure. I didn't want you thinking I was coming at you. I was just asking your opinion on it. I appreciate you.
Yeah, we just all learn and listen here, dude, and it's all good.
And just like to throw out information and get people's information back and go from there. So
that's how I learn, is listening to what other people have experienced and learned with. One thing else. Go ahead.
I was just saying to K Mason, that's possible. It could be depending upon what they're using it for. They're changing their protocol based off of use case.
And a lot of it has to do with producing a lot of knives. I think there's something to do.
Awesome.
I think
I appreciate that, buddy. I appreciate that, man.
Some of those steels you can quench a lot easier, like the 1095.
Yeah, so like the heat treating process is much simpler for a carbon steel than it is a stainless steel. So,
right.
So for instance, say like with Pro Cut, right? Pro Cut, you heat it up in your kiln or your
oven.
Your oven. Well, I mean, a kiln is technically an oven, but we're not getting into semantics. So, but you gotta get your heat up to normalization, and then when you go to quench, you can literally just quench in oil. I mean, it's just you can use diesel oil, you can use Parks 50, you can use depending upon what you're trying to get out of it, but it's simple. And then you're not worrying about necessarily doing cryo and all of them and all that kind of stuff. Plus, you're not like with stainless, you got to do your foil, which is expensive when you're actually putting it in there. So that way there's no air getting in there between it. I think your difference as a maker in cost is roughly like, we're talking like small batch makers, not talking mass produced, roughly probably $10 to $12 a blade cheaper to do carbon versus stainless. Now, the difference comes into carbons will need to be tempered at a higher, so you're using more energy for that. In certain carbons, you actually have to temper 3 times versus 2 times. So there also is factor of your energy, your electricity or whatever, but
your power that you're using to get that
right.
steel.
But that still is fairly nominal unless you're doing a ton. But yeah, so there are pros and cons to both. And that's kind of like what we said. What's up, Sierra Rick and Brash? Yeah, the one thing that's interesting, Brash, is I even growing up, I had heard about that from people saying that that Boss 420 HC was supposed to be phenomenal, but then you have someone who's really dived deep into that realm, like Steve, and he went through in Boss. Their heat treat wasn't all that special. It was just slightly better than what other people were doing, and it made them seem like, world beaters. But when you break it down, it wasn't phenomenal. He's got a whole video on that. So
that you're talking about the BOS heat treat.
Boss heat treat.
Yeah.
And that was like a huge selling point for a long, long time with Bucks. And it, hey, it was better than what was available at the time. So kudos. But it wasn't like revolutionary. It was only slightly better. So, which surprised me. I didn't know that until you learn more details of someone who actually goes a little more into the weeds than I do even. So
I wish I could remember which steels Creeley was telling me are in super low supply right now, and it's not any that I would have expected. It wasn't the Pro Cuts, the Magna Cuts. But God, it was some of those carbon steels. But he was talking about ever since Crucible went away, how that's affected makers, and he was naming certain steels that you just can't find. Shane probably knows, or you might know, Kyle, some that are.
Well, most of the Crucible steels haven't been put into production by all the other companies yet. So, yeah, you're definitely seeing a slowing or of supply of, say, your S110s, your S90s, your S60s. Some of the stuff that wasn't all that available before is really dried up. But most of anything else besides Crucibles is still fairly available from what I understand, but I don't buy it, all of it, so I don't know.
Right.
And Terry, that's a good point too. People who like patina, and that's cool. Like, we're not talking Patina Turner because everyone likes him, but having the ability to get that carbon bluing or that carbon patina is something you can't really replicate on stainless, and that's obviously by choice, but people like that, and that's cool. I'm not knocking that. I don't personally care for it because it doesn't mean anything to me. But again, that's personal preference. So there are a lot of cool steels that will patina and stuff. And so like when people do like acid washes on their blades, right? That's affecting the iron content. So anytime you do an acid wash on a carbon steel, it's always going to get darker than it will on a stainless steel. So that makes a really cool ability to change the look of a knife. Like you can get it to be where it looks almost DLC on certain carbon steels with an acid wash.
Just with an acid wash.
Correct. And that you're not going to get that replication in stainless. So again, personal preference, what you like. Yeah. And so that's part of it too, Todd, that there are cool aspects to like, there are carbon steels that I like. I like some of the performance carbon steels. I like, your Rex 45s, Rex 76, Rex 121s, your K294s, your Maximet, your steels that are high performance. They act like performance of some of the modern super steels from stainless, but they don't have that same aspect. K390 is another example of a great steel. So again, I'm going to keep reiterating it. It comes down to what you like and what you enjoy. But if I want a knife for all around purpose and all around use, I'm probably going to be going to a stainless. If I want something that's a performer, then that's solely going to be used for that. Then I'm going to go to something that's either high end stainless or super carbons. So
And you'd call that a high carbon tool steels, kind of how that's referred to, those harder steels, or are they
It's
not
more.
even?
It's more even. It's above that. It's more like a premium performance carbon.
I got you. Like K390, would that be considered one?
Yes, K390 is up there. All the different Rex ones that I mentioned are up there. Those are the steels that are like, they're only used for one purpose. They don't have a ton of toughness. They're designed solely to be slicers. They're designed for edge retention. So again, depends on what you're using it for. If you're using it for that, I think they're phenomenal. If
like breaking down cardboard all day.
Yeah, or if you just wanted to have a pocket knife that cuts forever, then go for it. And I saw that earlier, Terry. I don't know. I never tried that, but I've got. I never thought about that. I've got some black walnut here, but I don't want to use it for that because it's 8/4 complete straight grain.
If you can black walnut stain a stainless steel.
Yeah. If I had some scraps, I'd do it, but
Tell you something that they did. I told you we got a laser down at the knife store.
yeah, I was going to talk about that.
Very cool. He actually took a BSR, which is a kind of like an $80 Bally song, and he put a Damascus pattern on it. Both sides, dude. It looks. I mean, you wouldn't believe how well that thing did.
I got something for him to try out. I think that he would really dig. And I wanted to say something. This what Sierra Rick just said is 100% accurate. That's what I was trying to get across earlier when I wanted to kind of go on that diatribe, is that people, I think, take chats. I'm done in the past as well too much to heart, because you can't get out this conversation that John and I are having currently. You can't get out the conversation where you're trying to, or
you clarify, or
right, and you're trying to decipher and hear the other person, because you're construed to the whatever 140 characters or whatever it's more than 140, but it's whatever that they.
Your fingers will let you type before you lose interest.
Right. And you lose. Nice. Do you see? That's badass. I've only got about 100 bore foot of 8/4. But that's awesome, dude.
He's a lot with that. The handles that have been,
I didn't know that either, Terry. Good call. I thought you were talking about you actually had to have scraps to do that with. That makes more sense. That would be a hell of a lot cheaper than wasting expensive good walnut.
So what do you, I'm missing what y'all are trying to accomplish with the walnut.
He's saying that so underneath of the walnut you have, there he goes, he just explained it. It'll stain. It's a very pungent.
Oh, it'll stain steel?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
It'll stain a lot of things. I've seen it done on like crafts and stuff, but I've never actually tried.
So it's something in the actual walnut itself that's causing a chemical reaction of sorts, for lack of a better term.
Correct. I think Todd called it out there, tannins or whatever. So I've heard of it done, seen some of it done in crafts, but I've never seen it done on like knives. So I wasn't aware. And I've never done it
quality
clearly.
Walnut. 13 years air dried.
Yep.
Stain your skin too. I know that the sawdust, because I used to work in a cabinet shop for 11 years, and I know something about walnut dust was worse than others. It was real black, but I'm trying to think what
walnut. It's a fine dust comparable to others, but there are certain ones that are actually certain
Worse. I don't know if it was more
they're
flammable.
toxic. They're toxic, like is it desert ironwood? Some of the rare, the oily Brazilian woods are. Is it Cotox?
I think Ipe was real bad for you too.
Yeah, but there are ones, I can't remember which one it was. There's a that if you actually inhale just a little bit of it, you'll get violently ill right like within minutes. It's not
like a toxin almost.
Yeah, it's not like bad for you long term. I mean, sure it is, obviously, but I mean it's a very, very quick.
Like you got poison or something.
Correct. So Todd may know. Todd's into woodworking as well too, but I haven't used any of those to have any issues with. But
I've been seeing this damn ad. I don't know why. I guess because I paused on my Instagram feed of this little tiny table saw. Have you seen that thing where it's a little like table saw that works on balsa wood and shit? And it's like a little mini blade. It looks like a mini table saw. I guess it's for crafts. I'm sure it's just junky.
Might as well just get a cheap scroll saw or a.
Oh, dude, this thing's like 8 inches long. The blade's probably 5 inches, maybe.
I put that question up there. Yeah, I've seen that. I don't know if you have or not, John, doing forced patinas with mustard.
I have heard of it. I have heard of it. Patinas have always kind of not scared me. I'll let natural patinas happen, but I was trying to ask Tate this at work because they're all about it. They're traditional knife guys. What's the line between patina and rust, or is it a different process that's happening when it's patinaing versus slowly rusting? I don't know that answer. I don't know enough about it.
Well, patina is just the discoloration. It's not necessarily the rust.
So the carbon steel is just taking on. I mean, I don't cut a lot with my GEC.
Yeah, it's pretty, and it's also acid based. So like there, and I know Terry said this earlier, like cutting steak, the acid in the juice will turn it certain colorations versus comparable to more acidic things like the vinegar and mustard. And
then you just wipe it down each time? Or do you want to keep patina, and do you want to keep that on there?
Yeah.
That steak juice.
Patina is protective, rust is destructive. Perfect explanation.
Okay, so I know rust is water and things like that. But like, so if I cut and then I dry like I normally would, it would patina if it's carbon steel, or do I cut and like let it do it? Is there a process to it, or is it just natural?
I would let the guys who know a little bit more, but typically the acid is what creates the patina more so than just, I think wetness actually will
rust more than anything else, right?
I believe, but let these guys chime in more on that than me, because I don't do a ton with that.
Well, I love the way, because I mean, I've seen it on 100-year-old knives, like a patina that actually protects the steel against rust. Yes, it will still patina if you wipe it. It will patina faster if you leave it, but could be splotchy. So really, I just need to probably play around with it. I mean, when you guys, your first knife patina, did it just happen that way?
I think it's from just being in certain environments and using it.
Yeah, because I rarely, come to think of it, I rarely cut food with even my slip joints. I'm usually cutting paper or stuff like that. I guess I'm kind of weird that way. Trial and error and use. Good answer, 5-door.
That's you still have that tried and true?
I do. It's going in a video, hopefully tomorrow. You want to see it?
Well, 5-door we're just talking about, he got one of Steve's kitchen knives.
Hold on 1 second, dude. This thing, your edge looks so good on it. Hold on.
Terry, thank you for explaining. I don't want to overstep. Like I know a little bit, but I don't know as much as you do on that and something 5-door and Todd and those guys, DC. You deal with carbon steels more than I do. But I knew it had to do with the acid that it's reacting to.
Look at your edge when it catches the light. And it's such a small bevel because it's so thin.
You know what that partially of that is?
What?
It's because it's a even scratch pattern. That's only F240.
Really?
Yeah. It's a very toothy edge.
I mean, it feels sticky. I mean,
yeah, it's very toothy. That's what he wanted on it.
Yeah, this is by far just a scary slicer. Now, K390, it would patina, right? That's what this is, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
But that's one that Alex did the CNC, I guess, cut it out and did the first grind. And it really wasn't that sharp when Shane got it at Blade Show.
Not at all.
But he doesn't. Sharp as shit now.
God bless him. He doesn't care to really sharpen them because he just lets geometry do it. But it would still cut things.
Oh yeah, but you can get it.
But you could run your finger across it and it wasn't sharp at all.
Yeah, but I mean, you feel this thing now. It is sticky sharp. I mean, scary sharp. Shane nailed it. I'm doing like just my top fixed blades that I've come across in 2025. I've got that little throw knife, that little $15 Amazon knife I'm going to put in there. Because for $15, it's a great little slicer.
I'll tell you, he just put out someone asked me about it in comments or in DMs, but he just dropped a small little fixed blade. I mean, a tiny one. Like
Steve?
Yeah, like a 2-inch blade. And I don't know if it came from, I think it came from scraps based off of, depending upon his bar stock, what he was cutting out from the layout, if he could get other handles to lay inside of that stock and get more material out of. But they were tiny knives, but they were a killer deal. They were like $150.
Where did you see him? I don't see him on his Instagram for sure.
Let me see if I can find it. Hang on 1 second.
I love a tiny knife. Yeah, let me share what I'm looking at. I'm looking at these knives right here.
You know what? Actually, I think it might have been someplace else. Give me 1 second. See if I can find it. Yeah. It was on his website. It was called the Mighty Might, John.
Okay, is it
It is. I can share it. Hang on, give me 1 second.
Yeah. I'm gonna stop sharing. Oh, wrong.
Okay, there we go. Can you see that?
Yeah.
2-inch blade, 5.5 overall, 4V at 66. 0.1 blade stock, blue denim, $150.
That's sweet, dude.
That's dirt cheap for that knife.
That is sweet. What's it made out of again?
4V.
Damn.
Yep.
That's a very good looking little knife.
Yeah, I know someone who bought that exact one, but I don't know if he had more on the website or not, but that was a cool piece. And I think based off of the height of it, it looks like it's only about an inch and a quarter tall. So it very well could have been where the handle of one of his kitchen knives came out of a wide, 2.5 inch wide bar stock. That very well could have been
what he used.
Yeah.
That's a
So
very cool little knife.
yeah, neat little
Hey.
thing for good price point.
Very good
Oh,
price
look
point.
at Cheeto on top of it. Dang, Cheeto. What's up, buddy?
What is up, Cheeto? Cheeto, I'll send you some pictures. Oh,
What's
he
up,
is
Lemmy?
right all over it.
Yeah, so I guess he did some in S60 too.
I like Brian's little fixie. Have you seen those?
Yeah, the doodle.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah. What's up, Space Cuz? I
Ooh,
hate
check
that.
this out.
I can't pull links off of StreamYard to share it. Let me see if I can go to that. Give me one
Let me show
second.
you this right here. Are you looking at the 4.5 inch? Right here it is.
Yeah. That's the one that Five Door was talking about.
The Christian knife?
Yeah.
That's a pretty knife.
That's cool.
Oh, they're those little guys.
And
The
Mighty
Mighty
Mites.
Mites. S60V, XHP, CPM 4V.
Are they in stock?
It looks like they are. Well, I can't tell.
See if you can add it to cart.
No, you can't add it to cart.
Oh,
Yeah,
you can.
it did add to my cart.
Damn.
That's CTS XHP. They've got S60. What's X60?
S60.
Or CPM X60V. Is it between 30 and 90, I guess?
Yeah, it's so S60 and S90 were actually renamed steels. They've been around for a long time. It used to be 420 and 440 VN was the original name of them back in the 80s, and they renamed them S60 and S90, but they definitely fall in between. So S60 falls parameters wise as far as the makeup falls in between S45 and S90.
Hollow ground? I mean, it doesn't even look like it has an edge bevel, does it? They're very cool little knives.
Gee, thanks,
And
Sierra.
150 is not a lot.
No,
Very, very cool.
it's a small knife, but that's still very, very cheap for that knife.
I was going to show you one that's not very cheap, but it's very cool. I can't believe it's still in stock. Let me pull it up. Uh-oh. Hold on. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? It was up higher than that, I thought. At the top of the page. I'm scrolling behind the scenes. Y'all keep yourselves occupied for just a second.
I gotta fix my camera. It's upside down.
Can you just hit the mirror button?
Yeah, but it's still I
This is-
physically need to move it because it's all messed up. But
Move it around. I'm going to show. This is a cool knife, but this isn't the one I wanted to show. This is a very cool little knife, though. BP, are you familiar with them?
Yeah.
BP Custom Knives.
yeah, he did the Wasp. Was
The
one
name
of
is FUK.
yeah, the Wasp was one of his first breakout knife he made. That was like 2 years ago, I think.
6.5 inches, just about perfect. The one I want to show, there's a Vanguard Mary on here from Alex, which is a Warncliffe, 6.5 inches. And I think it was
What's up,
CTS
Brown Sugar Mama?
XHP.
Which one was it?
It was the Vanguard Mary.
From
See
who?
these Kai Pros? We don't have the Pros, but we have these Kai. They're called something else. They're I like these too. This Gentry. I'm all over the board. I think those are sexy looking knives.
Little Nessmuck ish.
Yeah, I follow him on Instagram.
He's got a good YouTube channel too.
Yeah, he's a very talented maker. But
Yep.
the one I
I
was
think
going to
he's over in Indiana too.
is he in Indiana?
I believe so.
Man.
His shop was phenomenal. His shop was killer, but it was very well thought out. He was building a new home, and he had the land, the property, so he built the shop on the property, and it was done right as far as how it ran all the electrical and AC and the way it looks on the outside and stuff.
Is that on his YouTube channel? Has he got a lot of that stuff?
Yeah.
Vanguard.
Sierra, no, I was talking about the voice comment. I was just joking, buddy.
Oh, it's sold out. I wonder if somebody bought it while we were looking at it.
Oh, Jacob creates. Okay.
Yeah.
Vanguard. I thought I remember hearing about the Hail Mary. I didn't know the.
Well, the Hail Mary, they're just different. They're the same size, if I'm not mistaken, just different blade shapes. Look at that jimping. That's a 6.5 inch. Or was it DLC where I saw it? Hold on.
Speaking of which, Terry, you still here? I forgot to reach out to you, but I saw I didn't watch the video, but I saw the thumbnail that Jared reviewed the Orlock.
Oh, did he review that today?
I think it was yesterday or the day before. I was going to reach out and tell you that I saw it, Terry, but I didn't get the chance to watch the video yet. I just saw
It is such a good knife.
The thumbnail. I typically don't watch videos, but I would have watched that to see what he said. But hopefully it was good things.
This is the one, Kyle. It's still in stock.
Okay.
That's the Vanguard Mary at DLC or DLT trading. But that's bigger than a chickadee. That's 6.6 inches, where a chickadee's 5. But it's still a cool little knife.
It's
and if you go to
a little high for XHP, in my opinion, but
yeah, well, his knives are going to be a little higher, right? So if we go to Instagram and we go to Jacob Creates.
Awesome, Terry. I'm glad you said that.
You'll see this.
Ryan, did they pull through? Did Oklahoma blow it?
Hey, did Alabama really come back and win the other night against Georgia?
They played tonight against Oklahoma.
Oh, so Alabama is still in. They did beat Georgia then. The other, like last weekend. I do not pull for Alabama. I'm sorry, Alabama fans. So here are Modest Marys. See, the blade style dictates the name, but they're really clean knives. And he's got the Hail Mary here, the Vanguards.
Wow. That sucks. Sorry, Ryan, but congrats, I guess. But that sucks.
What's that?
They did come back and beat Oklahoma.
Roll Tide. So now they're in the finals?
No. They're in the
quarters?
Yeah, they're going to get whooped, though.
Who do they play?
Indiana.
I mean, the fact that they're still in it, Alabama just draws the fucking ace every time. I mean, they can be broke down, beat up, and still come back. And Nick Saban's not even there. He still called the shots from somewhere.
Brad, I'll give you 6 points right now, Ryan.
Oh, no.
Nice wager.
I think Ryan, you're working the weekend, then you're done for a week. You're going to take some time off. I hope you do. Go Western Michigan Broncos. Sick Naven. I agree. Big Shane. I wasn't a fan, but again, when I was a kid, I was an Alabama fan, but I was never an obnoxious Alabama fan. When I went to Auburn, I realized how obnoxious in-state Alabama fans could be. They take it serious here in Alabama. So what teams are still in it? Like the teams that are, I guess, the 4 that are still.
Right now, it's just the playing games. So the playing games are
sweet, buddy.
Alabama, Oklahoma, and then James Madison, Oregon, Tulane, Ole Miss, and then Miami, Texas A&M. And then the 4 teams that had buys were Texas Tech, Indiana, Georgia, and Ohio State.
Oh, so Georgia is still in it.
Yeah, yeah.
So they could play Alabama again. I mean, they were up by like 21 points with like 4 minutes to go last weekend or something crazy like that.
The only way Georgia would play Alabama would be in the finals. That's not going to happen. They're not going to get there.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's amazing that they've gotten as far as they have. I mean, that's strong. Because again, I thought they would have kind of fallen off after Nick left, but I guess he built enough of a legacy. I had to quit watching college sports.
5-door, you are absolutely batshit crazy. Tulane doesn't have a prayer.
Tulane's got a good team, don't they?
They got a chance because they're actually involved, but they don't have a prayer winning that game.
Well, the thing is, I always tell people, you got to remember these are 17, 18, 19-year-old kids in a lot of cases. And on any given day, crazy shit can happen with the right game plan and the momentum swinging. You never really know.
They're 18, 19, 20-year-olds making
more
money than most grown adults.
Well, I've been seeing on Twitter some questionable pro game calls where people are screaming that this shit's fixed. Have y'all seen any of that stuff?
It's been that way for a long time, dude.
Yeah, I've just never paid that much attention to it.
If you look at how accurate Vegas is on their lines and how they can stay in business, it's
got to be more than just stats, doesn't it? I mean, it's very questionable. Especially with, I don't watch pro games, but I've seen like clips on Twitter about how you tell me if this was a fair call or if this was a fix, stuff like that. And I don't know how much of that's getting fed to me because of my algorithm. I've responded to it, or if it's just prevalent where people are seeing more of it and talking more about it.
5-door, I feel bad for you, buddy.
Good point, Big Shane. Entertainment for a reason is a fact, just like pro wrestling.
Your poor Tigers are officially going to go down the shitter even more now that you got Lane in there. Congrats.
Oh, God. Lane Kiffin went to, LSU lost a lot of respect when they grabbed Lane. And Lane, I think, made a mistake going. I think he could have stayed at Ole Miss forever. And LSU,
he had the keys. He had the keys to the castle at Ole Miss. They give him anything.
And do you think he just went because of the quick money, or is it more prestigious? Or did he come from LSU?
It's more prestigious, but he could have pulled more money out of Ole Miss, and they basically he could have wrote his own story there. Like he didn't have to.
That's true, 5-door.
He didn't have to leave to get whatever he wanted.
But the Grove is beautiful.
Yeah,
but
the Grove has history though. But I mean, it's not like LSU Stadium's anything to rave about. I've been there. Yeah, that's right, Ryan. And then how is it that his team is gonna? I don't know. If I was Ole Miss, I wouldn't even want him or his coaches back. Like they tried to pull that, and it's like, why?
Yeah, and I just have a feeling, going to a brand new program. I mean, I'm sure they give him some kind of time frame to build the program the way he wants to, but I would think he had to do a risk reward study in his head. But I guess with college football money, you can go to the house and be fine, right?
I want to know how Jimbo Fisher still has a job. That's the SEC job you want.
Which one's that? What team's that?
Texas A&M.
Texas A&M. Speaking of Texas A&M, Johnny Manziel sure fell off, didn't he?
Ryan, wouldn't you do the same thing if you were Ole Miss? If you were wishy-washy on wanting to be our coach, they'd be like, see ya.
That's Richard's backyard.
Yeah, I was 5-1. I've had this conversation a bunch. I've been to Baton Rouge couple times, but the one time I was there for like a week, and yeah, I have been to College Station, but my point is that's the best job in the SEC in my opinion because of the financials and what they're willing to give you. I don't know. They got, and their actual facilities are pretty damn wild as well too.
So Sierra Rick, are you saying if you just cut through it, if I cut through a tomato, and then I mean, do I wipe my blade and cut through tomato, or just cut through a tomato and leave it there for a little while? I still don't understand how to force a patina without screwing something up. And I know a lot of it's experimenting. So I probably just need to do it.
Just cut some fruit that's got acid in it, let it sit.
And just let the knife sit with the stuff on it and not worry about it.
Yep. And if you don't like it, you can polish it back off.
That's a fact. That's something I didn't realize is you could take rusted blades. I've watched the guys down at Knives and More restore some shit. That's true. Nobody is immune. And I think that's one of the things. I think there's a lot that you could look at about Johnny Manziel's young life, being told, you know, you're great and all that. And there's just a lot of factors that played into that.
Well, what people don't tell you, unless you get to that level, you can be phenomenal high school player. You can be a top 50 in your class in the country, go to college, not fit in the right program, not make it, and be a nobody and never even have a chance of sniffing the pros. You can be a standout in college, go to the NFL, not get in the right program, and be a nobody and be out in 4 to 5 years. The longevity of pro careers is insane because it not only showcases that you were able to make the best out of what you had in each situation, but that you were truly elite in every step. It doesn't matter what sport it is. When you go from high school to college, there's a huge jump, and going from college to pros is an even bigger jump. Like the competition level is such a drastic jump in those stages in any sport that
it's a different game altogether.
It's totally different game in any sport. It's faster. It's more difficult, more demanding. You have to put in more effort. Very few people make it to those elite levels, and not even the best people make it to those elite levels. It's a matter of the right situation, right timing, and ability.
Because doesn't some of history's greatest pro quarterbacks, didn't they kind of develop in the pros, or was like Brady a great college player? I know I'm ignorant.
No,
he kind of developed in the pros, right?
Yeah, he was the last pick of the draft, and he sat behind Drew Bledsoe for years until Bledsoe got hurt. Same thing. He just
kind of learned the middle part of the game, where I imagine if you're a Manziel and you're thrown in there, and I don't know how after signing such a big contract and getting so much fanfare that you come to training camp with the same hunger that you came to college to train. I wonder how much of it takes you by surprise your first game when you get hit.
Some of that is the fact that they've been propped up and told they're the best their entire lives, and they get to the NFL and they're a nobody because everyone there has been told they're the best because they are the best. And those guys that get drafted in the first round should never, in my opinion, should never be starters. They get thrown into the loop way too fast into a situation that they can't comprehend. They can't read a defense fast enough because the NFL is at a totally different speed than college is. They need to sit and learn. And that doesn't happen anymore because people are impatient because they're the big name.
They paid a lot of money for that person.
Yes and no. I mean, not really, because a rookie is still on a 5-year rookie contract, so making a lot less than a veteran would. You look at a lot of the great quarterbacks, they've sat and learn the game before they've actually stepped foot in. Drizzy or Uncle Rico, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely makes sense that you got to be able to think, and sitting behind a quarterback, learning what they're dealing with would make you much more prepared when you do go in there and take snaps. But I also think that, and I learned this from these rappers talking about how they're not as hungry once they get a certain amount of money, so their art goes down a little bit. You know, I wonder if some of these pro athletes that are highly drafted, if they're made to work as hard, or if they work as hard as they should to get ready for that shit.
Well, okay, this tells you about timing, right? I played ball with this kid that was an elite pitcher. He was a left-hander, and this, I mean, I'm not spring chicken, but I'm younger than Javon, but he had 4 solid pitches, a lefty, was 6'2" and could throw 92 miles an hour coming out of high school. And he was just absolutely dirty. He got drafted at the end of the first round coming out of high school. But he was dumb as a box of rocks. I mean, he should have went pro, but he was told, no, you can develop more, you can get better. And he had full rides to basically wherever he wanted to go. He ended up going to Georgia Tech on a full ride. I think he got All-American one year, but he never made it. Like,
he missed his chance.
Yeah, he just never got anywhere. And that happens more often than not. You can be at the top and be in a bad timing or bad situation. And you can be the opposite. Like, you can be Brady. You could be good, but not great. Get put in the right scenario, sit, wait your turn, learn, and become amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just,
I've never had any max of that.
I've never had an issue with mine, Sarah. I've got this one that I've had for almost 3 years, 2+ years, that literally just sits on my desk, not in any protection, not in any case or any, never had any problem with it.
I've just never had any.
I guess it depends on your climate. I mean,
like humidity.
Yeah, but I mean, my house, we run dehumidifier sometimes, but it stays very consistent. I mean, I've never had an issue with it. But I'm not carrying it out in swamp and getting it wet and all that other kind of stuff. It's more of a inside knife.
Do you cut food and stuff with it much?
No.
Yeah, that could be it too.
Yep.
Well, guys, it's almost said faction time.
Well, we got 15 minutes. Unless you need to go grab something.
No, I don't need to do nothing. I just didn't know what time did they start? Where? Hold on, let me pull it up. Oh, 16:55. 16:55.
I remember what I was going to tell you about for Tate. So with the laser, there is a super cool ability. If you tie and then laser over top of it, you get some absolute wild looking patterns and stuff out of it.
Would you talk to him? Because he just got an anodizer Friday. A guy brought him an anodizer. He's starting to anodize stuff. Dopey stopped by this morning and was going through some stuff with him. I missed him. I didn't see Dopey. But he will have everything he needs to do that.
I really share about anodizing. I'm still...
No, but if you just ano it, and then you're just saying if you just ano the knife, and then
laser over top of it, whatever pattern you want, the laser on top of the ano makes some insane... I don't know how to even describe it.
Night, Decon. Good seeing you, brother.
It turns the night, DC. Talk to you soon, buddy. it turns the pattern wild. Like I remember seeing the first person I saw do it was either Parker or Richie. This was like a couple years ago, but it's insane. I mean, it's the problem is though it's not repeatable. Like
it's very organic.
Yeah, and it's not like a lightning anno. It's definitely different than that. It has more.
Well, the laser's carrying heat too.
Correct, but it's. I don't know. He needs to grab some plain pieces of tie and get them off Amazon or wherever, and just practice with it and test it out. Anno, 5 different pieces of tie, different colors, throw it under the laser, and to see how it works. But it's some cool stuff.
Yeah, the capacity they've got down there. Not only do they have that blasting machine, he's also got a stone. What's a tumbler?
Yeah.
What do you call that? Stone washing?
A tumbler.
Yeah, he's got a tumbler for doing something else to blades.
Happy birthday, Milton.
Mind Milton, what's happening, brother? Yo. Good to see you, buddy. Welcome to the said Stevie stream.
I haven't seen you around in a while, Milton. Hope you're doing well.
Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, definitely.
But it'd be worth just messing around with for Tate to take a look and see what
check this out. Let me show you before we go. I'm gonna show you this knife that he made that I took a picture of, and then it's sold to a guy that was in the store.
That blue one?
Yeah.
Yeah, you showed me that.
Did I show it to you?
Yeah.
It's super clean, man. I mean, I thought he did a really good job. I'll show you a beautiful knife. Just the sheath. Remember that Greg Datcher who was on with us?
Yep.
The maker. Check this little guy out. Whoops. Look at that sheath.
That is wild. That's crazy work.
He's just, I mean, he's insane what he can do. But these are those 2 new salt. I was going to show these to Shane when he and Ryan come up. He's got one regular on layaway, but these are the new Magna Cut Crooked River salts.
That's cool.
And the new Altitude has got a full scale. I always thought that was kind of a cool knife.
Hell yes, Kevin. Thank you. That is amazing.
Oh, Logan Paul. Oh, Jake Paul did?
Good.
Sweet. Who'd he fight? Let's go to YouTube. I got to see that. Is he like knocked out or did he just get knocked down?
He fought, what's his name?
Do we think that stuff's real?
For the most part, yeah. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, I wouldn't think Jake Paul would take a fall for cash.
Joshua.
KO.
Hell yes.
Yeah, nice.
Anthony Joshua was who he fought, which theoretically he had no business being in the ring with Anthony Joshua.
Was he that much of a better fighter?
Yeah.
Well, I thought Jake handpicked his people pretty carefully.
He does, but like there's some fights that he's been in that I didn't think he had a chance of winning, and he did. So I give him credit for that. But
Tuesday, brother, I'm gonna go Tuesday and Friday. I'm not going out of town.
Are you?
Yeah, I figured I would. I'm working Wednesday, dude, from 10 to 3 just to help out.
You guys are open on Wednesday?
We're open from 10 to 3.
That's insane.
It's retail, dude. I've never worked retail before. This is my first.
I've worked retail before and we never stayed open on the day of. The day before, sure.
Yeah, yeah. No, we'll be open till 10 from 10 to 3, something like that. And then I'm going to my mom's to hang out. I've got a low key
Never
Christmas.
mind. Never mind. Wednesday is Eve. I thought Wednesday was Christmas Day. Never mind.
Yeah, Christmas Eve.
Okay. Yeah. Christmas Eve.
That's
open.
true. 1931 Leatherworks. Very well could have been he was supposed to take a dive and he just felt about Jake. Although I like Jake better than Logan.
They're both douchebags.
They are both douchebags.
Well, hopefully Tuesday, I'm supposed to get some material in Monday. So hopefully by Tuesday, I'll have scales on that small guy. And I can start cleaning it up and shaping it.
Did you see the scales Joe showed? But were you here then?
No.
The scale material. Let me show you this, and we'll go to Stevie's. Look at this real quick.
Oh, Joe Isabella?
Yeah. Look at this shit he made.
Some mammoth? What are those for?
They're scale material.
I know, but for what?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't know if he made, I think he made those blanks. You know how he makes his stuff?
He's not making mammoth. I mean, he probably cleaned them up, sanded them, and flattened them.
Yeah.
Right, but
is that what that is, mammoth? To me, it looked like wood. I couldn't tell.
No, that's mammoth.
That's beautiful stuff, though.
Yeah, that's mammoth molar. Or mammoth something. Looks like molar, but
would that be like from a solid piece or is it pressed together? Surely it's pressed together like.
Yeah,
my
that's the
yeah, I watched that. I really thought Tyson could have taken him. I thought that was kind of a dance.
If you looked at any of the training videos, Tyson was 100% in shape, and then he got to the fight and looked like he didn't have a chance. Like he was.
Yeah, he was killing stuff. Isabella is known for his mammoth bone. All right, guys, we got to go to said faction.
All right, man.
You got anything to say to these lovely people?
I'll probably be here Tuesday then. Hopefully, maybe
come hang out with me Tuesday. And if you're available Friday, like I say, I'm planning on jumping on. I'm not going to be out of town.
Okay.
Dude, I love you. Y'all have a good night. I'll see you at said faction. Peace.
Take care.